Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Rogers' rants. Whenever tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and The Tramp, let the bomb blast.
All right, you guys ready? Champ and The Tramp, new episode up. We got my man Kevin Malast in the building. Kevin, we go back, but he's a local guy, Manchester guy, which is one town over from Toms River. Rutgers grad, played in the NFL, what, 5 years?
4 years.
4 years, Titans.
Jaguars.
Bears, Jaguars.
Bears and Jags. And now he works for Malka Sports, represents athletes, helps with my career as well. But yeah, it's good to have you, man.
Dude, so fired up to be here. I finally made it.
Yeah.
I made it in here, dude. I was waiting by my phone to be invited. Frankie gave me the go ahead. I was like, done. Didn't matter what I had. Clear the schedule. This is awesome, man. Fired up.
Hell yeah, man. It's good to have you. And we've been kind of working together now for the past
For sure.
4 years now, maybe.
Yeah, about 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. I
So,
still remember the recruiting pitch when we came in here. You had a lot going on that day. Family was running all over the place. I remember for Pat to go through the entire pitch. I was doing yoga with your daughter.
Yeah.
to kind of get her out of the way. Just so we could fully pitch you. That was a fun day though, man. What a fun memory. And yeah, it's obviously a pleasure to be in your corner and to serve you in any kind of way.
That's
so
awesome. I appreciate it.
So how crazy were you going on his last fight? You obviously must have watched it.
Of course, yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat the entire time.
I feel like I'm going through the phases with him as he's like
Same.
walking out, But
I
mean, Frankie's obviously been through this a million times, and he's just so cool, calm, and collective. I'm probably way more nervous than he is, just like everybody else watching him.
I agree.
Just a ton of grace out there, man.
Thank you.
That was unbelievable.
Really was.
I've been getting hit up by so many different people. Actually, our guy Brian Daly at Showtime hit me up immediately. It was like, man, Frankie just looks so clean out there.
You live in Toms River now, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you proud to be from Toms River when he shouts out TR in the house, baby, at the end of every fight? I'm like, I'm fucking from TR.
No doubt, man. Toms River. Now, I claim Toms River now. I live right by Toms River North High School. So I'm right there.
Yep. You gotta rep TR.
I lived in Whiting for a bit.
There's not many of us, but less is more.
That's
There's
it.
plenty of us.
That's
you like that?
Yeah,
Huh?
that is so true.
That's some rap line I stole. I ain't gonna lie.
Speaking of rap lines, you got one on your stomach now.
What?
Shady, baby, right?
Oh yeah. The
The
most shady.
The most shady.
Yeah. I had to give a little ode to. I don't have any tattoos there for fight. I mean, except I have some warriors. I have a gladiator, a samurai. But all my tattoos, I realized, have some type of meaning. Even the stupid ones I had.
No doubt.
Like, I'm sure, I don't know if you feel
I
the same
got some
way.
dumb ones. Yeah.
I have some dumb ones, but they had a mean at some point in time. It had a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fucking panther on my back. Right, it's on a cliff, and it has blue eyes. The fucking guy. Listen, the guy that tattooed me was actually he's real well known. Wolf. Old Man Wolf, I don't know, but he's retired.
Old Man Wolf sounds
Wolf,
really good.
I just call Old Man Wolf, but Danny Wolf, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, he was a legit guy. Like, I wish he told me, like, yo, Panthers don't have blue eyes. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, oh, fuck it, they give me green, whatever they have. But it's got blue eyes. But hey, my cousin had a panther tattoo, so I was like, that was my thing.
So what's the meaning there? Like, do you got?
No, the meaning was all right. Me and a bunch of wrestlers got it. All right, my Jay Coleman. He had a lion on a cliff. And I was like, my cousin had a panther.
Why is it always got to be on a cliff?
I don't know, bro. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. But my cousin had a panther, so to me that was the meaning. Like, he got a panther. It's a staying.
You were like, give me any animal, just put it on a cliff.
I was like, let me get a panther.
As long as it's on a cliff, we're good.
On a cliff. Yeah, it's actually done really well.
Listen,
it's a good tattoo.
But
it's fucking a panther on a cliff.
Anybody that's got a lot of tattoos have some bad ones, man.
Yeah.
I did 5 sessions of laser therapy to get the worst one I ever had in my life on my arm lasered off, and then I went over it. But that laser shit, bro, that sucks. That's 10 times worse than any tattoo.
When did you get to that swastika, though?
No, here we go. Here we go. Hey, at least he's not making gay jokes. At least now it's just racist jokes.
Yeah.
That's close.
It was eggplant.
No, the tattoo I had actually looked like a little bit like an eggplant. It was just kind of a black blob. I called it my black blob.
Why? Just bad artists?
That's a long story, man, but I'll try to give you the short version. Is I had this idea in my head. Well, one of my first tattoos ever was a tribal, and I always hated it. It was a half tribal, didn't even go all the way around, right? It was like the Pamela Anderson one. So I think hers was barbed wire, but it looked similar. So and I got it when I was like super young. So I went to my old guy, obviously not my guy anymore, and I already had started to sleep, but I was like, hey, listen, can we make that tribal into like the links of a motorcycle? Because I have on this arm, I have man's ruin. It's like all the things that will ruin a man: women, fast cars, drinking, gambling,
cheeseburgers,
right?
ain't
Cheeseburgers, yeah. Cholesterol. Got a panther on a cliff right here. So anyway, I was like, can we make that into motor? So he took a pen and he sort of hand drew it in, and it looked like motorcycle links. And then he starts tattooing. Well, I just turn my head and I zone out. Every time I get a tattoo, I turn my head. I usually watch YouTube and I zone out. When I turn back around, bro, it was like this black blob. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? He's like, it just wasn't coming out right, so I'm just going to, like, blend it all. And I was like, at the time, I should have been pissed, but what was I going to do, walk out? Yeah. So, dude, I rocked this. You remember it, right? Yeah. Jesse remembers it. I had a black blob on my arm for probably 8-10 years, and I just always hated it. And then I got hooked up with this doctor who had, like, a state-of-the-art laser, brand new $300,000 machine, and offered to sort of do like a trade out, and I was like, because this is expensive.
What was the trade out? What'd you do for
post for it? It was a girl, by the way. So yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, see, he went right from racist to gay jokes. Didn't take long.
Smooth transition.
Yeah, smooth transition. Yeah, he's good like that. So yeah, she did it. I'm sure she could get rid of that. Well, not the panther. Keep the panther. Get rid of the cliff.
I was 15.
Get rid of the cliff.
I was 15, by the way. I was 15.
Yeah, I need more behind the cliff.
Yeah.
I need
a waterfall.
You got to come up with something.
A rainbow.
So when people ask you about it,
I should do like a whole scene.
Story.
I should do a whole scene now.
You actually should. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be nice.
It's like the Jungle Book. It's like the Jungle Book. He's talking into a microphone that don't even work. So that faint sound in the back is Jesse talking to the microphone. That don't work.
Everybody loves drunk Jesse. Everybody. So.
You have any tattoos, Kev?
I don't.
No.
None.
No
Were you ever
tattoos.
Tempted?
Actually, recently I kind of been thinking about it, but I have no idea what I would get before you guys ask.
See,
But my brother, my oldest brother, Bill, he's covered. Like he's got tattoos everywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted tattoos, but my kids were the easiest ones to get. So if that's what you probably do, some of your kids,
sure.
you know,
that's
those
a
are
smooth
those are no brainers.
Absolutely.
Kev, you got two children?
2 children.
2.
Yep, a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old.
Yeah,
oh wow,
right in the mix. It's challenging. It's good. This is like vacation being here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't.
3-month-old having a conversation over a drink.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's challenging. It's a blessing. No, my son's great. He's just bouncing off the fucking walls.
Right,
he's all over the place.
That's what boys are, man.
And then working from home when he's around, I'm like fighting him as I'm like going in and out of the Zoom. Like it's just a complete shit show. But we're making it work just like anybody else. And then the daughter's been great. She's awesome. 3 months in, we have her on a nice schedule already. Cool. So yeah, it's been a smooth transition.
Too, man. It's just something different about
it. Oh, for sure. She already can't yell.
My boys drive me nuts. And they're 11 and 10. My daughter's 6, but my daughter, I can't yell at her. I can't yell at her.
Yeah, I'm already like I could see that. I could totally see that. Yeah. No doubt.
Like my boys, I'm trying to raise men. You know what I mean? So like, listen, you little motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
They're a handful. My daughter though, she's gonna be a handful too. Don't let her fool you. Now, you guys aren't going back into the office yet?
Nah, I've only been back once for a shoot up in Jersey City, but besides that, we've just been kind of working from home.
You guys, I've only been there once, but a hell of a complex you have up there.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
So
it's really
none of your podcast, your in studio stuff, nothing like that is happening up there now as well, or?
Well, a lot of it's being live streamed. So
right.
We were very well positioned during the quarantine to
But live stream from those studios.
Yes, yeah. Or some's going into their houses, whatever we got to do.
Right.
Live streaming capability is very big on what we do and how we do it.
Yeah.
All the smoke became live streamed.
Really?
And below the belt. Yeah.
They filmed that in California.
But they filmed that out of our office in Santa Monica.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, we were able to stay out in front of that. We're lucky to do that.
Good.
And but yeah, so people in Jersey City were kind of everyone's just laying low from home, doing what they got to do. And my job specifically is just being out in front of the network, talking to all different types of people, keeping our athletes and talent engaged in kind of creative ways. And so I can kind of do that from home, even though I like going to the office though, because you've seen it, Roger. Like it's It's really cool.
It's a good vibe.
Like it's really cool because it shows everything what we do and how we do it. Basically, you see like all the editors there, the graphic designers, the salespeople, everyone running around, kind of coming together and making things work. So that's
Frankie and I were lucky enough. We got a quick tour one day, but you've probably been up there many times. I got a quick tour one day, I should say, but very impressive setup. Malka Sports in Jersey City.
We
Appreciate that.
kicked Roger out.
Yeah, they did immediately. They said, "Listen, Frankie's welcome to stay, but you got to go."
That's not true.
Frankie and his Panther can stay. You got to go.
Until you get a panther on a cliff, you're good to go.
Hey, 60% of the time it works all the time.
yes, Sex Panther. Absolutely.
So how's the quarantine been for you guys? You know, just
non-existent for Roger. No, right?
Oh, true. Yeah.
No, honestly, it's really been. I mean, in the beginning, it was for me and for him. We even shut down the podcast for a couple weeks, right?
And by we, you mean you.
Well, yeah, what? I mean, my wife shut the fucking podcast down. That's who shut it down. It was only for a week or two. And
Listen,
then I was like,
week one, I think everybody was like, holy shit, what is this? Nobody knew what to think.
Everyone
week
was
two, sort of a few people started getting skeptical. Week three, by a month in, I was like,
oh, no way. Dude.
Come on, bro.
Bro, hell, I'm so fed up. But did you see the new
now,
the new result?
Yeah.
You know, the new result, and then you sent that video. They gave me another thing on the percentages.
Yeah.
You seen the percentages with the CDC? Release?
Oh yeah, we're just talking about them.
Yeah, how now, and I'm not trying. Again, I'm not trying to be insensitive. And people die. People could definitely die from this. It is a real thing, but it's definitely not what it's made.
A very specific group of people
very
could die.
specific,
A very specific group.
Now they said out of the 150,000 or 180,000 whatever people that died, only 6% died with just COVID.
Yeah.
The other 94% died with at least 2.5 more comorbidities. And someone's trying to be like, comorbidities means like shit that kills you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why they died.
Correct.
Now, of that 6% that died from just COVID, 90%
we're over the age of like 70 or some shit.
We're advanced age people.
Yeah.
So then what that means, like, dude.
Yeah.
So 10%. So 10% of 6%.
Welcome.
You gotta watch out.
Welcome to the pandemic.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Frankie's got all the stats. I love
Yeah. I mean, listen. Yeah. It's from CDC, bro.
Well, look. You see the video? You see the video of Pelosi getting her hair done,
dude.
I mean, come
Come
on.
on, man. Yeah.
And listen,
crazy.
I don't
Set
care that
yourself
anybody
up.
gets their fucking hair done.
I don't care if anybody gets their hair
but
done.
let them do it if you're gonna do it.
Exactly.
That's the only fair thing.
No special exceptions, man.
Correct.
Can't be doing that.
And then she's like, I'm not trying to be, pick a side, but then she's like, they owe me an apology. What?
Yeah.
Dude,
That's just
come on,
crazy.
swallow your pride
You
there. Yeah,
shut small business down, put hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people in jeopardy of losing their businesses, and then you say to them they owe you an apology.
Crazy.
Come on.
Dude.
Come on.
So
That's
let's
not cool.
get off this shit. So you played ball for Manchester.
Yep.
What schools were other than, I know, were you hell bent on Rutgers?
Yeah, so I played at Manchester, born and raised in Whiting, we were talking about before, Roger. And Roger's a fellow Whiting guy for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
What do we call us? Whitingers? What are we? Whiting fellow?
White walkers.
White
walkers.
Rare breeds, whatever.
Yeah.
But Whiting's
55 and older.
Whiting is in like the Pine Barrens of Jersey, and it's kind of notorious for senior villages.
Is it the Pine Barrens?
dude, it's out.
I would say it's
not the
Pine Barrens.
No, Pine Barrens is
There's a lot of pine trees.
There's a lot
It's
of
not the Pine Barrens. I don't think it's the Pine Barrens. Though,
All right, I don't know technically where the Pine Barrens line starts, Frankie, but
well, hey, listen, Mr. fucking facts guy over here. Okay, you can't just fucking pick any line and say here.
all right, fair enough. Do we want to pull up a map or?
Lou.
Yeah.
Lou.
All right.
So there's a lot.
Jesse's talking into a fucking my hand. Don't ask Jesse.
So
So
it's
there's a lot of pine trees.
a lot of pine trees, a lot of deer, and a lot of old people. You don't hear about a lot of young people coming from there. But I lived out there for like 3 years, and you did.
Yeah.
I forget what years I lived out there, but
That's the years you got old. That's why.
Yeah, it definitely ages you living out there.
Dick.
I born and raised in
So
Whiting.
we went. Let's just. I just want to recap. We went to a racist joke, a gay joke, and now old jokes are rolling in. All right.
Listen, fucking keep it tally because they're coming. They're coming.
Yeah, it's still early too. It's still very early in the podcast. But yeah, went to Whiting, went to Manchester High School where I was a 3-sport athlete. I think the other sports helped me get recruited to being a wrestler and a baseball player. And I chose Rutgers. My top 3 were UVA, University of Virginia, and Syracuse.
Oh wow, those are real good academic schools too.
Yeah, awesome schools. And at the time, they were playing really well. Syracuse was playing great football. UVA was playing great football too. And but the thing is, like, I just loved Rutgers, and I love Coach Shiano.
He was there. He recruited you.
Absolutely. And that guy's.
So cool. He's got. Yeah, I met him a few times. He's definitely got.
Exactly. You know him.
Great personality,
He just fired me up. You know what I mean? Like, he sold the vision, and mind you, like, Rutgers at that time was terrible. Yeah. Like, they didn't win any games. They had a great tradition of losing. Yeah. You know, it's actually the oldest program in college football history.
Yeah, then versus Princeton was the first game, right?
First game of college football. Yeah.
No
dude,
shit.
You're all over,
Come
man.
on, man.
You're fucking killing the stats right now.
He likes to know facts. I give him. Right. I give the fucking facts.
Yeah, you love it. Right. Must be this peanut butter whiskey. Peanut butter whiskey's got you.
What?
Whiting.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
What were you saying about facts, my friend?
Wow.
Check, put a check on the board for Ron.
But yeah, just Rutgers was just a great fit for me, and I knew where they were going and how they were doing it, and just fired up to be there at the time, and it was a great time to be there. I mean, I played there from 05 to 08, and we won a lot of games when I was there. Went to 4 bowl games, won 3. I played with 3 first-round draft picks. My recruiting class alone had about 9 NFLers in it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was Ray Rice was in that class, Devin and Jason McCourty, Tyquan Underwood, Courtney Green, all NFL guys. So it was a really good time to be there. It was like perfect timing.
Wow.
Very cool.
But coming out of Manchester, though, was,
small school, right?
Small school, and we didn't win a lot of football either.
What is it? Group what?
I think it was group 2 or maybe group 2 when I was there, but we played a lot of Monmouth County schools, and they used to beat the piss out of us. It was like Long Branch, Middletown South, Red Bank, all these really good schools. Right. And it was tough going against them and competing there, but luckily, we were able to make it happen. My senior year, we actually went to the playoffs at Manchester, first time in school history.
Oh, really?
And they've only been back one other time.
Really?
So it's not like a strong tradition football school, but again, the other sports maybe helped me out, and I was very lucky to grow up in the family I grew up in. I mean, all college football players. My 2 brothers, older brothers, college football players, and my father was a college football player too. So
it was destined.
Todd Frazier has a
doubt.
similar story to that. Obviously,
Absolutely.
Todd was the breakout athlete of the family, but both brothers played, professional. I think he had one brother that played like 7 days in the NBA, but still.
Yeah, Todd's, Ocean County
MLB,
royalty,
the MLB.
Yeah,
MLB, sorry. MLB.
So
MLB.
Todd was at Rutgers the same time I was. We were at Rutgers together.
Oh, wow.
And actually, me and him, a fun fact, we're back-to-back Sullivan Award winners, which is the Sullivan Award is the Jersey Shore best athlete of the year.
Okay.
And Todd won it the year before me, and I won it the year after him. And then, then we went to Rutgers together. Yeah, so
that's
cool.
Now, how old are you?
34.
Were you Eric LeGrand? Were you guys? You were there with him.
Yep, I played 2 years with Eric.
Wow.
I mean,
what an inspirational story that guy is, and how he, what he could have done with what happened to him and the platform that he took, and how positive he is, and the message that he puts out there. What a great guy! I've been lucky enough to meet him a few times, and just a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He is what you see too. You know what I mean? Like he's every bit of it. Because to me, about those type of stories is like everyone sees him in the big moments, like when he was in the ESPYs and when he's like talking to celebrities and superstars. But that guy is consistent every single day.
I agree.
Yeah.
It could be it could be like June 2nd, and it looks no different than it's March 3rd.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And to me, that is like real mental toughness.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like being consistent day in and day out over a period of time. And I mean, that's you, Frankie. Like you're no workout looks fucking different to you. You have the same approach in everything you do. Right. You walk in the octagon, you have that same approach every single fucking time.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean? So
you gotta be
and guys
just
like
show up.
And guys like Eric, like that's how he lives his life. Yep. So that's why it's real and genuine. What he shows is very real and genuine, and he's an inspiration for a lot of people. But the spinal cord research community and the spinal cord research project, it's been great for them.
We had Scotty Kramer on.
Yeah,
and,
dude. I've seen
he's
him
doing
perform.
Great, but like just being around him and knowing met Eric. I just, I've also been to Walter Reed Hospital, with a bunch of, really banged up soldiers.
For sure, yeah.
It's just crazy how everybody I met, their spirit was not broken at all. And I just man, as fucking tough as everybody says I am and this, that. Bro, I don't know if I can handle that, man. I don't know if I can deal with that,
Dude, it's...
I know damn well you could.
I don't want to know. I don't want to find out.
You don't want to... But to me, that's the beauty of perspective.
Yeah.
Like, perspective's like my favorite thing I always talk about because you can learn from other people's experiences and everything they've been through without having going through it yourself. Right. And as long as it's impacting your life in a positive way and it's making you a better person from it, well, shit, I mean, that's what it's all about. So as long as you're learning and gaining that perspective, educate, and be better, man. To me, That is literally everything. Well, you know, my brother has a spinal cord injury.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
so my brother Brian was a New Jersey State trooper, and he got hurt on the job my freshman year at Rutgers. Literally 2 days after my red shirt just got pulled, I played in my first game at Rutgers, UConn. I'll never forget it, against Donnie Brown, actually. I remember him, the running back at UConn, and being a first rounder to the Colts. And then 2 days later, I get a call from Coach Chiano saying your brother's been in a car accident. Come back to the office. I was on my way to class. A helicopter came and fucking picked me up from the school.
No way.
Because my dad sent it. My dad's a retired lieutenant colonel in the state police, so he
No
had sent it.
way.
They thought my brother was gonna pass.
Oh my God.
So they're like, hey, can we got to get you here in the hospital right away in the
Oh
trauma
my
center in
God.
Camden. Helicopter picked me up. And went there, and dude, it was like such a scene, man. My brother was in a coma, troopers everywhere, family members. Everyone thought it might have been Brian's last moment in life. You know what I mean? So just to be a part of that moment, he stabled out a little bit that night, and then I went back to school, went to go back and play football. I didn't miss one practice because, you know, you can only control what you can control.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to cure Brian.
Right.
You know, but my job is to go to school and be the best football player I can possibly be for everybody else. That's my role in the family and what we're doing. You know?
It'd probably catch your mind off it too, you know.
Oh, 100%.
In a way, I mean, even though your mind's never completely off it, but at least something to distract you.
And that's why Rutgers was such a great fit for me, because I had a lot of great friendships there to go back, to be a distraction. Every coach, from the strength staff to Coach Chiano, and the way they treated me around that entire thing, it was amazing. But
Rutgers has always had, across the board, great coaches, you know.
Oh, incredible. And then, but my brother now, fast forward, he's doing really well. He's a quadriplegic, but he's doing really well. Head's completely there. Like, will bust my balls when I walk into his house. You know, he has his own house in Whiting.
No shit.
Whiting got 2 miles from my parents' house.
Wow.
Yeah. So, dude, it's but again, perspective.
Yeah.
Like looking at what my brother Brian goes through every day, day in and day out. Like, dude, I can't have a bad day.
No.
You know what I mean? I missed a tackle on the football field. Like, come on, like that's fucking nothing compared to what my brother goes
But
through
that's
every day.
if you wake up every day like that, that's amazing, because unfortunately for most of us, and I admit I'm guilty of this, you know, typically speaking, you'll have an experience in your life where something like that will happen, or I can name 100 of them that have happened to me over time. Caitlin being one of them. You met Caitlin, and it profoundly affects your life, and then slowly, I don't want to say you distance yourself from it, but your everyday life, cognitively, you sort of forget, you know what I mean? And then you go into these moments where you sort of lose yourself, and you'll find yourself, you know, maybe and you'll be like, how a week ago was I just lucky to be alive and lucky to have a roof over my head, but now here I'm getting, you know, upset over something that's so mundane and so silly, and so you have to keep that constantly in the forward thinking of your mind. You really do, and realize every day how lucky we are. You know what I mean? It is all about perspective, but it's hard to keep that in your forefront every day. And if you can do that, you've got it made. You know?
Yeah,
so,
for sure, it gives you a tremendous advantage. No doubt. But yeah, so and then played at Rutgers, you know, for those 4 years. Which again was wild, because my brother got hurt at that time, my freshman year, and I played through all that. He was in a coma for about 6 weeks. He eventually woke up. Then he went to Kessler, which is where Eric did his rehab as well.
Yeah.
They're famous there. You know,
Scotty Kramer was there.
Scotty Kramer, absolutely. Like all those guys. Kessler's one of the best facilities in the country, you know, as far as what they do and how they rehab these guys. And but you know, I had a great 4 years at Rutgers. I was very blessed to be there at that time.
Yeah. Great school, man.
So you graduated from Rutgers before you went to the NFL?
So no, actually, I didn't finish, because like I thought I was gonna have that extra year from redshirting, but it got randomly pulled because a linebacker went down that was in front of me. So I was supposed to redshirt. Like I didn't play till literally the fourth game of the year my freshman year, which kind of sucked, because I was just planning on redshirting. But but I still got to be thrown in the mix though at a very fun time, because that was Coach Chiano's first bowl game. Yeah. That was for like him to finally break through and become bowl eligible. Cool. Yeah. And we played in the Insight Bowl against Arizona State my freshman year, and it was like an awesome game, awesome experience. You'd have thought we were playing in the fucking national championship. Yeah. These Rutgers fans were dying for this moment. Yeah. Mind you, years of losing, of getting like absolutely pounded every Saturday, and like now fans like have something to root for. Yeah. They traveled incredible, like 30,000 fans went out there for that game. It was nuts, and just a fun time to be there at that time, and you know, I'm playing through it and having that, like, you know, playing for my family while Brian's rehabbing and getting better. I graduated right after my rookie year in the NFL, so I didn't finish, and I came back. After that season of 2009, I ended up graduating in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, the spring of 2010.
Now, and then you went to the Titans right from...
So Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago Bears was the first team I went to. I was I was an undrafted free agent there, so I wasn't a draft pick.
It's funny you say Chicago Bears and what you just talked about, because when I was a kid, I grew up in Maine, grew up in New England, so of course New England was my team, but they sucked. I'm 45 years old, so when I was a kid, they sucked.
The Patriots are terrible.
And they
then.
finally made it to the Super Bowl, and they played the Bears and got fucking smoked in the Super Bowl. But then they became an elite team. You know,
when you moved out,
and now shut up, Dick. So when I say when people ask me like who's your team, and you can't say New England and Jersey. I always say I'm not a diehard football guy, but New England's always going to be my team. You know what I mean? Everybody hates Tom Brady down here, but when I was a kid, they fucking sucked,
Brady,
man. They sucked.
Yeah, that's a different story now.
Right,
I mean, the Patriots are killing it, but I kind of know that Northeast area a little bit. My oldest brother, played linebacker in New Hampshire.
Okay.
So Portsmouth,
that
whole area.
It's all
and
same
and
up
then
there.
Kittery,
It's all
Maine.
same up there.
Yeah, it's all the same, right? That's actually one big state. New Hampshire, Maine just flows right into
Clean air. Clean air.
Clean air. Not many girls. Like you get yourself a big elk or a moose, maybe.
The consummate hater.
No, I want to go up there, man. I want nature, bro. I fucking feel like
You know what I want to do
no
this
doubt.
winter? I tried to get you to go last winter. You're like, how long a ride is it? I was like 10 hours. You're like, I'm out. But I want to get you to go snowmobiling this year.
I want to
with me.
go.
I want you to
go.
for a weekend. You got to do it for a weekend. You
I'm
can't
down.
commit to a 10-hour ride and not go for the weekend.
Yeah,
But we'll go with my
I'm
cousin. He's hardcore sledder,
I'm
hardcore.
down.
And I got an extra sled.
We'll
go.
just put fucking Champ and The Tramp podcast
Yeah.
on.
Let's go.
We'll be
Yeah,
good to
we're
go.
good. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But yeah, Chicago. I was in Chicago 9 and 10, and then I was in Tennessee 11 and 12. But going to Chicago as a free agent linebacker, I mean, that was a tough place to go because you have two All-Pro linebackers in that.
Urlacher, right?
Brian Urlacher
Yeah.
and Lance Briggs were on that team,
Oh,
and they're
wow.
both All-Pro. I mean, there's a lot of great players in that Chicago Bear team that I went to, but playing with those guys was just an
Now,
absolute
what?
amazing.
Like, did you play alongside them? And
Yeah,
did
yeah.
they help you out? Are they cool guys? Or how was football?
They were great. They
Yeah?
were
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, in that team, that was Jay Cutler's first year there,
Oh,
too,
yeah,
in
yeah,
09
yeah.
when he just got traded from Denver. Greg Olson was on that team. Charles Tillman. There's some, really good players. Julius Peppers went there in 2010. So you have, a bunch of, legendary players. But Urlacher, he was awesome, man. He took care of me when I was out there. And Lance Briggs was really cool, too. Lance Briggs actually came out to one of those Darian Barnes All-Star games.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. And we played in it together right in
yeah,
Seaside.
yeah,
there.
yeah,
It was
all
good.
right.
Actually, I think the year before you played in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, no
I
doubt.
did it a couple times.
Yeah.
Some fucking cop fucking blindsided me one time, bro.
Dude,
I wanted to fight him, but I wanted
Dude,
to fight him,
Really?
Those cops, they had a point to prove in that game.
No, they do. Did they have plays? They're fucking calling plays and shit. I'm like, bro.
I was caught off guard too.
Yeah.
I was like, it's like a friendly game, right, guys?
Yeah.
I was like, they're bringing the heat, man. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was like, yo, let me know you guys need to learn martial arts. I'm coming back.
Different scenario. That's good.
Oh, real quick before I forget, we got to mention. So we got some new artwork in here this week. We haven't hung it up yet, but this is fresh in from our boy Chris Sweeney
Yes, sir.
down in Florida. Just sent this up to us.
Thank
Does
you,
some
Chris.
amazing
That's sick,
art.
dude,
But
that's nice.
yeah, we're gonna get that up on the wall. He does a lot of wall art, basically. A lot of what are they when they graffiti art? I guess they call it, right. But hang on, let me shout out his IG.
Missing a panther in that.
Yeah. I know.
Yes, that's the only thing that's lacking. You're right.
You go panther on a cliff and really bring it all together.
You need glasses, Raj?
No, I had it. I lost it. Anyway, go ahead there, Frankie. I'll pull it up when right here.
So
It's CR Sweeney 1. CR Sweeney 1. That's his Instagram if you want to check out Chris's art. He's a local guy that actually moved to Florida, so check him out.
dope stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Is he a Tom's River guy?
No.
I don't know if he was Tom's River, but he's local. He's a Jersey guy, yeah.
Nice. It's really good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you could, out of the three teams, what was your best place to play, you think?
I would say team-wise, I mean, probably like
Football.
legendary.
Say football-wise, for like football.
Football. See, the thing that was tough about my career is I never played on a winning team. And I never went to the playoffs or anything like that. We just missed the playoffs in Tennessee when I was there in 2011, I think.
Right.
And it was. I would say the city of Nashville is awesome, man.
I couldn't agree with that
that's what
statement
it's like,
more,
dude.
bro.
Nashville,
One of my favorite cities to go to.
It's awesome.
By far.
Yeah,
Nashville is one of the greatest places.
Super friendly.
Yes.
Tons of stuff to do.
I had a
Weather's
blast.
pretty good.
I had a blast out there. Yeah, it was a great time being out there. And
I
then
went there for 08, I think. Ricardo fought. I went out to one of his fights.
right at the Bridgestone Arena, probably right on Broadway.
Yeah,
Is it the spot right on Broadway?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's right in the middle of town, pretty much.
Yeah, I know exactly where that's where the hockey team plays.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, that place is amazing. I would say Nashville as a city was a blast, and I had a lot of really good friends in that team too that were close relations. I actually played with 2 other Rutgers guys in that team too, so that made it really special.
Yeah.
But playing with a guy like Urlacher, I mean, when I was in high school, like that was the guy you looked up to. Like he's like a legend, in the NFL. He's already a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So I found wins in both sides. And it was just a blast. But to play in Nashville with 2 teammates from Rutgers, Kenny Britt, who's a first-round pick, and then Jason McCourty still plays with the New England Patriots.
His brother played with him too.
Twin brothers and the Patriots.
Yeah,
it's such a great success story.
crazy.
And those guys are just complete hammers in all areas of their life too.
Yeah.
Like they're awesome, man. They're great people. And they actually just both got elected captains for the Patriots this year.
Oh,
just
wow.
recently, today. And so it was cool to play with those guys on that team too. So that was a blast.
That's cool. That's cool. That's really cool. Damn, they're both captains. I figured they might as well pick one and just switch them out. You know what I mean?
Give each a break. But yeah, I mean that team's loaded with talent, and that should be interesting to see what Brady.
I was going to say it's going to be interesting to see what happens this year.
Yeah.
Now I hear like Belichick's. But isn't he a defensive guy, Belichick?
Yeah, he's a defensive guy. Yeah. He's a great coach. I'm a big fan of him in the way he does things, and I mean he wins for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean he really does.
Yeah. Obviously has to, right?
I
mean he has good players around him. I think people are unselfish. Obviously Brady not taking much money, so he can bring certain players in
for sure.
They definitely got a good
Absolutely.
like culture over there.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is, like, he has the credibility to be an enforcer there too. You know what I mean? Because, like, to be honest, in the NFL, it's hard to come in guns blazing.
if you're not proven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like telling guys who make more money than you, like what to do and how to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're more managing personalities at that level. You're not going to reinvent cover 2 and defenses and things like that. But you got to be able to, manage these personalities and get them to play for you because you don't want to lose a locker room at that level.
Right.
Because you see teams where like guys have great talent on it and they're obviously not winning. There's definitely a lot of inner issues there amongst the team. But
sure.
he has a plan in place, man, that works so well in that program, and it's fun. It's really fun to watch, and I watch them closely because Dev and Jay are clients too. So I follow the Patriots all the time.
Yeah. Does one of Jones's brothers play for the Patriots still?
He did.
Yeah.
He might be in Arizona now. I'm not sure.
Arthur, right? Is Arthur or no?
Oh,
Chandler.
Chandler.
He's one of the best, though, right?
Dude,
he's
awesome. Yeah, great pass rusher. He's incredible, man. He's a super talent.
How about that family? Jeez.
Yeah, some pretty good genes there.
Yeah.
That's very special. 2 NFL players, and obviously, John's
John,
just an absolute animal. Have you come across him in a lot of ways, or
John?
Yeah.
Early in my career, I hung
Okay.
out with him a bunch of times. Super. Everything's been cool.
I was gonna say, what's your impression there? 'Cause
Good
I feel
dude.
like there's a lot of mixed feelings.
I was the champ. When I first hung out with him, I was the champion. He wasn't.
Oh, really?
And
Was he
giving-
like up and coming at that time?
Yeah, I mean, we knew he was gonna be
A beast.
legit.
He's a super
but,
athlete.
But he was super nice, man. He really was. Every time I've talked to him, even even when he was the champion and like this proven dude. I remember one time I was fighting somebody. But I remember him like I'm about to go my walk and he came and I was like show like he had to say it to me. He's like, yo, show him who you are, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like that was cool. You
That's
know what I
pretty
mean?
cool. Yeah. What kind of like? I mean, I'm super like impressed with like Frankie and your preparation as far as like leading into a fight. Like, I mean, what are you actually doing at this point in your career, like to get ready for a fight? Like literally 3-4 hours before the fight. What are you doing?
Well, I'm taking. Usually, I mean, like this is my routine pretty much all the time. Obviously, a little different with this COVID shit, but I still pretty much did my same routine. But a couple things are different. So I wake up in the morning, I eat breakfast, and I usually eat breakfast with my team. We usually all go out somewhere. My team, including like all the corners, and then like my parents, my wife. This time I couldn't do that.
Absolutely.
But so I wake up, eat breakfast, and then I go back to the room, chill out. We just chill out with my team, bullshit. And then we usually go to the arena we're fighting in. Okay. That's what I like to do. I like to go in the cage, do my one run through. It's kind of like just a blowout, like a 20-minute workout. Just do my warm up, rip some pads, do some technique, get my heart rate up
for sure.
Get a little tired, and then shut it down. Come back to the hotel room, chill with my team, everyone. I usually have a fucking big ass meal. I eat one huge meal, and then take a nap, 2-hour nap. About I don't know if I really sleep that much.
For sure.
I'm fucking thinking about the
I was
fight.
gonna say, yeah.
But I definitely fall asleep. I'm in like that sleep state where I'm up, I'm a little nervous, I'm
Yeah.
sleeping, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And then I wake up.
This is after weigh-ins.
This is fight day.
Fight day. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're about to knock someone the fuck out, and you can like take a little nap before.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have a hard time doing that. I'd be a
No,
little
but sleep is tough because you start. What I do is, this is what I do is I try to think of my kids that whole time.
True.
I try to think of my kids' faces, and I'm able to sleep.
And that relaxes
But
you.
it goes. It's just tough though. To keep control your thoughts is not easy, right?
Dude, yeah.
So then, of course, I'll be sleeping. I'll start thinking of technique, and my heart rate is to get up a little bit. And I'm like, fuck, I can't fall asleep. Then I go back to my kids' faces, and I'm able to fall asleep a little
Nice,
bit.
yeah. Wow, that's.
But then I wake up. My boy Chris usually brings me a coffee. We chill, and we get the call. Like, all right, car's here. Let's
But
go.
you can have a big meal too before you fight, like that.
I have it at like, honestly, I have it. Say I fight at 9. I'll have it at like 3 o'clock.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then I like to fight when I'm on an empty stomach. I don't know.
Really.
What I do is I'm pretty empty. I want to eat. I don't eat, so I go to the arena. I have a banana, and then I'm good to go.
No doubt. So how did you feel at the new weight class? Did you feel?
I felt no different than
Really?
at 45. Yeah.
Yeah.
I fought at 49. And I think I used to fight at like 51, 52 at 45.
For sure.
So I'm almost fighting at similar weight.
It's crazy a body comparison at that, like watching you fight like someone similar in size. Like it's.
Well, he was especially. Some guys are a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Even at 35.
For sure,
But he was definitely more my size.
Dude, no doubt, man. And I saw Steve was out there with you. He's awesome.
Yeah,
so we go way back. So like I know Frankie, like for a while now, like growing up watching him wrestle locally, and then I know Steve Rivera very well, and all the guys at Elite, and all great people, man. It's I was just talking about this with Pat the other day, like how impressive it is to see that group of guys that you have that've been by you since day one. And they still are there. Yeah. Like
it really is.
You see a lot of people like coming in and out, and trust me, like being in the NFL, I see a lot of entourages, all different types of entourages, people hanging on, and want to be a part of it when you're playing, and then when you're transitioning out, all of a sudden they don't want to be around. But like you got a really special group of people.
Guys like Chris Ligori, Mark Lee.
Yeah.
These guys have full-time jobs. I mean, and Chris lives in a different state.
Yeah.
And he's here all the time.
Mark's
really
a
good
great
dude.
guy. Yeah. That's such a good group of guys.
Like
man.
honestly,
Vinny,
I've been around these people since day one, and that's just who I am. You know what I mean? I don't think of myself as
for sure
anything. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, even if people like it's funny because I'll see people that think I'm something, and I treat everybody the fucking same, and people are like. Almost like they get taken back by it. I see, but I'm like, oh man, I don't think I'm nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just like everyone else.
It is impressive to watch, man, and it's an absolute standard that any fighter should be following, or any athlete in general. I mean, you look at the
sort of two theories of thought on that though, and we've talked about it. I agree with you 100% because it's how I was raised. Sounds like how you were raised. I agree with you, and he can't picture himself any other way. But these guys that come in, the Sean O'Malley's, the Conor McGregor's, they talk their way into $1 million fights.
And I agree. But like
so sometimes I almost wish like he was a shit talker.
Yeah, but no, Conor McGregor is the only one that talked himself into that money. That's about it. Like really, Sean O'Malley's been talking, but see. Conor lived up to the hype. He's fucking telling people what round he's gonna put.
Well, Chael got an Anderson Silva fight. Talking shit.
Yeah, but he won. He won fights to get there too. Yeah. But like you got that guy Sugar Sean talking all his junk. I'm undefeated. Like bro, you got kicked in the leg and packed it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you're saying you're undefeated still. Like you can't. You can't do that. People I think are gonna be like, I'm not pulling his card.
What do you think about him out? His fight style?
I think he's good. I think he could be good. Do I think he's as good as he thinks he is? Not yet.
Yeah. Dude, it takes a while, man.
He's not. He hasn't fought anybody ranked really. This guy Cheeto's pretty good though.
Yeah.
And the guy, he kicked him good in the ankle, and that was that.
Yeah, and
then he fucking had to have like this, big drama show afterwards.
Yeah, and that's part of it. Like, your leg wasn't strong enough. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's all part of the fight. It really is all part of the game. There's no reason why you lost, or you either lost or you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, plain and simple. Like,
correct. Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I feel about it.
Don't make excuses.
Yeah, you can't.
That's what I've always appreciated. I'm biased, of course, but I've always appreciated that he tells his kids that don't make excuses.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You can't. I can't, and that's why, like, even like, bro, there's fights that I lost that I thought I won. And I said in interviews, if someone asked me, did I think I won? Yeah, I did. But did I go out there on fucking social media, sit there and cry and complain? No, because that's ain't my style. You know what I mean?
No, and trust me, a lot of people see that and recognize it and respect it. Yeah. So it's definitely special to see, and it's a prototype of, again, what any athlete I think should be approaching it that way.
Because he's got the eye of the Jaguar.
Exactly. It's obviously the Jaguar tattoo gives him the power to.
The Eye of the Panther, same thing.
Roger, you're a pretty big guy though. Like, did you play some high school football? I mean,
See, that's like
here's the
that
thing,
is
like-
probably the most because we have a lot of athletes on, and that's like the most asked question. I wish I could say yes, I was a fucking but I grew up. I was not big in high school. I was a skinny, tall guy, but I grew up in such a
You were
small.
skinny?
No, skinny, yeah.
Wow,
I was so skinny. Yeah,
Skinny?
Really?
so
Like,
skinny.
Give me,
yeah.
give me a weight. How much did you
Well, I
weigh?
graduated high school at maybe 185, 190.
And you were this height?
I'm 250 right now, but I didn't put any size on until I came to Jersey, and I didn't even pick up a weight. Well, the closest gym to me, this will give you some idea. I grew up in a tiny little town called Cherryfield. The closest gym to me was a YMCA in Ellsworth, which is a solid 40-minute ride from me. So, and that it was a
YMCA.
YMCA. So, yeah, that was it. Here we go. Let's get the Eye of the Panther over there. So, yeah, I didn't put on any size until I came to Jersey, and I'll be 100% honest, and I've talked about it on here. I did it because all the girls down here like guys that look like you. Yeah. So I was like, if I don't join a gym, none of these hot chicks are gonna want to talk to me. So yeah, I put 50 pounds on living in Jersey, and don't look at me now. I haven't been to a gym. I just went back on Monday because they opened. But
Wait.
Welcome
Okay.
back.
Okay, today's Thursday.
Yeah.
You're back on Monday.
Yeah.
Have you been back since?
I have.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good
absolutely.
then. What are you talking
I'm
about?
a
You made
little
it seem
sore,
like
yeah.
you didn't.
I went right before I had to cut my
that's
workout
great.
off early to make it here.
That's
so
great
yeah,
then.
yeah.
What are you doing? You're doing all right.
Yeah, buddy. I'm back in there.
I'm here to motivate you.
I'm
all
back.
right?
I'm back.
All
in
this
there.
shit
You're right in
talking
the
I'm
mix.
doing
So
is
anyway,
to fucking motivate you.
Long story short, I went to a tiny little school. 7 towns went to my high school, and it was such a small school. We didn't have big money sports. So we didn't have football. We didn't have hockey. We didn't have anything. We had the basics. And I played those up until my junior year, and I was decent. I was baseball.
what is it?
Baseball would have
You
been
played
my
baseball?
sport. Baseball would have been my sport. I had a good arm on me. Pitching. So that would have
You pitched?
Yep, pitched.
Oh, nice.
That would have been, if I had to pick a sport, that would have been my sport. But I got to be a junior. I wanted to buy a nice car. My dad wanted to give me a piece of shit car that my grandfather owned. It was an Eagle Rambler, if you know what that is.
I don't, but
It's a wood-paneled station wagon that's 4-wheel drive, if that gives you any idea what it is.
Wow, okay.
So no girls would have ever
You're
gotten
going
this
to the
car.
beach with a surfboard, man.
But I wanted to buy my cousin Chevy Tahoe. My cousin was a lot older, had a Chevy Tahoe. He was a cool guy and, had a cool tinted out. And I wanted to buy it. My dad said, okay, quit sports and start working every day after work. My dad wasn't going to give it to me.
Yeah.
So I did. So I had to quit sports. So, yeah, that's sort of my story. I was a decent athlete, but we didn't have pedigree sports. You know what I mean? So,
a hell of a nice fisherman now.
How many kids in your high school?
most asked question, another one. 7 towns went to my high school. I graduated with
7 towns.
350 kids in the entire school. 52 kids, I think, in my graduating class. Something like that, yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah.
right?
That's where the men.
I thought
That's where the
Whiting- I
men
thought
are men
Whiting
and the
was
sheep
bad.
are scared up there.
I thought Whiting was bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
kind of growing up in that, like, it
Right.
felt like Whiting felt like the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
no,
mean? But
no.
wow, that's
Yeah,
a
small
wild
town
experience.
living, and not many people leave. A lot of people are fishermen, lobster fishermen. I didn't grow up in that industry. My dad owned a small oil company up there, and that's sort of what I still do to this day. But so I didn't grow up in that industry. But a lot of friends, right on the Maine coast. A lot of my friends are lobster fishermen or work on the water in some way. And yeah, I love going back there. I love going back to visit. So
oh, cool.
Is there a lot of light pollution? Or not much, right? Probably not much, right?
pollution in general, you mean?
Light pollution. Like, can you see crazy stars up there?
Oh my God!
It's gotta be nuts.
Didn't I
right?
tell you the story? I told you the story. My girl Danielle, right? She can't breathe for shit. She's addicted, which is horrible, to
Aspirin.
nasal spray,
Yeah, it's
right?
no good,
She
but
used-
it's addicting.
I agree. She's
No,
like
no,
a,
I think it is
she looks
addicting.
like a crackhead using this stuff all the
Doesn't
time.
have
But I-
epinephrine in it. I think it has epinephrine.
I
in
took
it.
her
Does
to
it?
I took her to Maine. I took her to Maine, and the entire
Frankie's full
weekend
of stats today.
she
I love
never
it.
used it. She never touched it. She's like, I can breathe so
that good
clear
air,
up here,
bro.
so
It's that
good. Yeah,
good
yeah,
air.
yeah. And you'll never see
That
more
good air.
crisp, clear nights up there. Yeah, yeah.
I
could
gotta
see
get
that.
up there.
I could
gotta
see
get-
that Jaguar on your back from a mile away up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna take you
go,
up there
let's
and
go.
go snowmobiling this winter.
No, I'm down. I'm
Don't
definitely
back
down.
out though. You're
No,
the
I'm
king
good.
of backing out.
I'm good. I want to fight in December, and we'll go right after that.
Okay. All right. That's perfect timing actually.
Yeah.
Because you don't get good snow till like January. You know.
Is there mountains in Maine? Mount Snow. Is Mount Snow in Maine?
No, but there's no the only
Sunday River.
Sunny River. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a skiing
Yeah.
mountain.
What
but
do you mean? Yeah.
yeah, I've been there. But probably the better known one is Sugarloaf. That's better known
That's
than
in Maine.
in Maine. Sugarloaf's pretty well known. But
And
Mount
how
Katahdin,
close is that to you?
Sugarloaf, it's 2 hours maybe
Really?
something like that. Yeah.
If I go, I'm gonna make like a little snowboard trip out of
Yeah,
town.
sure.
You definitely gotta
You
make a
do
trip out of that.
snowboard or ski?
No, I skied. I was lucky enough to ski the Alps and stuff, and when I was in high
Alps?
school, yeah.
Wow, look at you,
wow.
bro.
Yeah, my dad.
He's cultured.
I went stayed in
Cultured over here, this guy.
stayed in Austria, and then we the mountains are right there and the glaciers are right there, so we skied and we did a bunch of day trips, in Europe. It's
Lauderhosen?
Yeah, Lederhosen. Yeah. Yeah. So
wait, what? You went there for like a high school trip?
no, my father, part of his business that he was in is he sold enough product that the company he bought from every year took my dad and my mother on a trip every single year. So they did it for like 20 years, and then they got divorced. So then he was like, "Oh shit, I'll take my." So he took my sister one time on like a cruise, and then he took me to Austria one year.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, it was
Shit.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So when's the last time you skied?
Years, bro.
Come on,
Years.
that's-
Been years.
it's
Been
horrible.
years. Yeah.
Come on,
I've never
bro.
been.
Never?
Been
Never
years.
been.
What?
Never skied, snowboard, nothing.
Dude, what?
Wow.
Never been.
You're missing out.
I know.
Jesse,
I
you
know.
definitely do something right.
Snowboard.
Yeah, there you go.
I like.
Listen, I don't get to go often because I'm always in training. I don't want to get hurt, but I mean, I've been snowboarding since I was 13. I'm not good. Every year, I literally take years off and then go back because of fighting and whatnot and wrestling. And
I didn't realize
but
you were a
like
big snowboarder.
I'm not a big snowboarder.
Well,
no,
you're pretty passionate about it. I didn't realize you were.
no, I'm just saying. I just think you should. It's why not?
Yeah, for sure.
What the fuck?
That's which one's harder, skiing or snowboarding?
I think snowboarding's harder.
I heard it's wait, what was it? Oh, it's easier to learn to ski, harder to learn to snowboard, but easier to get good at snowboarding, harder to get good at skiing. Does that make any
Gotcha.
sense?
So short term versus long term,
Yeah,
depending
yeah.
on the.
Yeah,
There you go.
I think. That's what
It sounds-
I've
sounds
honestly,
legit.
I've never skied. I've never skied. I've snowboarded.
Sounds legit.
And I'm not good.
Frankie, you realize you could have said literally anything right there.
Yeah,
I would have been like,
yeah.
yeah,
Sure,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you should go again, Raj.
If I
You
did,
should choose. You should fucking.
should
this
definitely-
is this is
It's
sort of the
fun.
way
It's a lot of fun,
this is
dude.
sort of the way I
definitely
look
try.
at it now. Is you've got a little experience snowboarding, right? So you've done it a fair amount of times.
No.
So if I go, I'm gonna go maybe once. Let's say this winter, if we go,
Okay.
maybe once next. I'm gonna do what I already know. I'm gonna go
Ski,
skiing.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not gonna
yeah,
pick
yeah.
up snowboarding
No,
to go once
I'm
a year.
not saying that. My
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
skis.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
we go on the same lift. It's all right, buddy.
All right, buddy.
Don't be
I
ashamed.
don't-
You got fucking ski poles. Don't be ashamed.
Listen, you're already showing me up with tattoos. I don't have a Jaguar.
You got something, bro. Come on, you got something.
You probably got something in the mix there.
Yeah.
I'm
True.
sure there's some type of feline on there. Uh-huh.
There was a black blob for a while.
Black blob.
Black blob. Yeah.
The pussycat.
Yeah.
Oh man. So then, how'd you go from football to Malka?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was gonna ask. That was
No,
my
for
question.
sure. So yeah, again, 4 years in NFL. You know, I've done pretty much everything in the NFL. I even went through the 2011 lockout when they went through all that and came back and played. And then I've been cut, released, practice squad, active, which has been again a tremendous experience. Played with a lot of great people, a lot of great players. Got to know a lot of coaches and scouts too along the process, which adds to my network and kind of what I do now.
Right.
And then I took my first job at a So here's the thing, like when I was done playing football, I was lost. Like I was very lost. It was a very difficult time in my life. I love football. I loved everything about it. I loved the training. I loved training camp.
Yeah.
People thought I was nuts. Like the smallest things I loved. I loved going to practice. I just loved the game so much, and I loved everything about it. So when I was done playing, I spent my whole life trying to be the best football player I could possibly be. You know, like I didn't ignore academics. Like I was good in school too, but like I just loved football. I was all about it. And then when that time came and I had to transition out, it was very tough. You know, I just didn't know what I wanted to do or what that next move was. Obviously, I have a lot of family that are state troopers. My father's brother's a state trooper as well.
That ever interest you? Getting into that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just because I have so much respect for my father and everything he did in the state police. My dad ran the gauntlet in the state police. He did everything. Like he started Homeland Security in the state police after 9/11 happened. He worked the Turnpike Parkway. He was an instructor in the academy in the 80s.
Wow.
I mean, guy, like he is a rare breed, my
Yeah.
dad. Like very, like he's old school. You know, I always say like, you know, Coach Shiana was a tough coach, but going there was like vacation, bro.
Yeah,
like,
believe it, yeah,
like
yeah,
compared to like when I
Yeah,
grew
living
up,
at
like,
home, yeah.
living at home, man, like it was way easier at Rutgers than it was back at home. And that's another reason why I went to Rutgers too, playing for coach, and just very similar to my home life. But yeah, very tough transition. So I just wanted to kind of get my foot in the door in some kind of business.
Yeah.
You know, like just build business acumen. Like I always had a talent at developing relationships and kind of pursuing them and earning trust from people, which came just being a good teammate to guys and kind of how that progressed.
Frankie has a tradition of ruining friendship. Have you heard all the names he's called me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Gee, I mean, it might be a different podcast after this. But no, So my first job was with a company called Insperity, and what it was selling HR infrastructure to small to mid-sized companies. Now you might be like, what the fuck?
Like human resources?
Human resources. So mind you, I went to Rutgers as a history major. And then I have no experience in sales.
I did not expect you to say that. A history major, really?
Yeah, that's random too. But
I thought you were going to say business.
I like history, though.
No, history is great. Yeah, it's great, and it was fun, and it was a difficult major at Rutgers only because like there's a lot of papers and like books to be read and shit like that. But it was a great job for me because I learned business acumen. It was like a fucking shirt and tie. Like you learned all different types, like following up, emails, going after clients. Like it was stuff and retaining those clients. It was stuff like I needed to learn outside of like the intangibles I learned from football, if that makes sense. It would help me further my transition. So during that time, like I said, I was going to create wins by building my network because I had to meet with C-level execs. So I was going to continue to build an awesome network of all different types of people from all different types of industries, which helps me to this day in what I do now.
Of course.
And then I was a hands-on MBA. So I learned about all these companies and how they run and operate, like what like things that gave them a hard time, retaining talent and all different types of stuff. So it was kind of cool to learn, like, again, like gain a hands-on MBA and how these companies run and operate.
Right.
Yeah. So from that, I did that for 3 years, and it worked out really well. And again, like the whole interview process with that was funny too because my resume only read NFL teams on it.
Yeah.
I read fucking 3 NFL teams, like linebacker, a Chicago Bears. You know what I mean? Right. And it's funny. I think my dad helped me.
Was it history major that put you over the top?
No doubt. And my dad helped me with my resume, and my dad's the best, and like he's super helpful. But he put like the amount of tackles I had at Rutgers on my resume. I look at it, I go, Dad, I can't look at a resume with tackles on it. Like they don't give a shit how many tackles I had in the Big East Conference. You know what I mean? But
he walks into a ring with a panther on his back.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's his resume alone. Like he's going to show us
insults, bro. You know what? At least my insults change. I went bunch of different demographics. You're staying
all right,
on
fucking
listen,
Panther. Can we move the fuck on?
All right,
the Panther. Holy shit.
We're gonna move on to ears now. All right.
Ears.
But I think one of the ways I got the job, I just went there with like crazy enthusiasm, and like I think the people that hired me, they're like, listen, like I don't know if this guy can do this fucking job, but he's out of his mind. So like, let's just hire him. Or else I'd have all kinds of regrets. And so 3 years, doing that, and it really helped me and developed me in a lot of different ways. And that's when Pat Capper is the president of Malka Sports, and Pat represented me as a player. So we've developed an awesome relationship, and that's where I learned firsthand as far as what an agency should be doing for you, how they should be representing you, and just more or less like the actual relationship in itself. It's a unique opportunity to pick a relationship that should last you and be a resource the rest of your life.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And I found that in Pat Capper. I really did. And me and Pat always talked, and Pat would help me even in my new job, connecting with people and things like that. Like he made no money off that, yet he helped me to the 10. Like just really was awesome about it. Yeah. And then that's when he was like, they were getting ready to actually merge or do that joint venture with Malka Media. So Pat was operating on his own for a while, and then that's when Malka Media started coming into play because they've known Louis Krubich, who's the president of Malka Media, who you guys met as well, and for a very long time, and did kind of like just one-offs in a lot of different ways. Yeah. Then they did the Bob Hurley Legacy doc, and then that's when they figured like, well, this should be a marriage. We should just be doing all content in-house, bringing talent in, and kind of this could really take off. And they partnered that with Showtime and Brian Daly and those guys, and that's kind of where that like catalyst started.
And Malka or they did the promotion for Mayweather McGregor, right?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Showtime
Well,
did,
we live streamed all the Mayweather McGregor. So those 4 weigh-ins, the only reason you saw, the only way anybody could see that was through our live stream. So we did all that. Yeah. Plus, we do a lot of content for Showtime Sports in general, all the Showtime boxing stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we do, content creation-wise. Yeah. But again, that was like the catalyst that kind of got the idea as far as like the new age representation of what that looks like for the future. Like having everything in-house and kind of operating that way across brands, talent, and media properties, and going proactively creating opportunities, which is really cool to have that ability. It's much more than just negotiating a contract and then fading away. Right. And that's it. It's much more hands-on, and that's the way we believe in the whole approach. Yeah. And so Pat was like, listen, like we're getting ready to do this merger. Like, why don't I want to bring you on as my VP of talent, and kind of like you walk in all these guys' shoes, like you'll be able to recruit and kind of talk to people as far as what they're going through and relate to guys. And also you understand like the long-term play and connecting others. Like, cause I really believe in just helping others. Yeah. Like to me, that's the greatest value anybody can get. It's just helping somebody else. Really, that's where
talk about some of the talent you have under you. I mean, Brendan Schaub obviously being one of them, right?
Yeah. He's awesome, man. He's super talented, and he shoots his stuff right out of our office in Santa Monica. Because so we have 2 offices, one in Jersey City and one in Santa Monica, and that's where Louis went to open that office out there because of all the opportunity. But yeah, we got all different types of stuff rolling. As I mentioned before, Devin and Jason McCourty are clients of ours, and
They have a podcast as well, right?
yeah, so they have double coverage with the McCourty twins, and that's. Dude, again, when you talk about like the future of representing an athlete, like the way that podcast started was now they're going on year 3, and we're actually about to go on to Nesson Network, which is huge. Like we're bringing that podcast to an actual broadcasting network, which is awesome. And you talk about the futures of what these guys want to look like when they're done playing football. We're giving them an opportunity to get like broadcasting reps. Like if that's something they want to pursue, they get you get practice at it and kind of just talking about things and talking things through. But that podcast just started off as just kind of branding those guys, allowing them to engage with their audiences and talk, and they can talk about whatever the hell they want on there. You know what I mean? Yeah. They have full, and those are guys like just they're rock solid. I mean, I can put them in front of anybody and they can talk to anybody. Yeah. They're just absolutely great.
That's cool.
So with those guys, like that served as a vehicle for brands and partners as well. So like now you can kind of creatively integrate brands that gives them a different vehicle to sell against. You know what I mean? So it's really cool to have that opportunity and to pivot that many different ways. And again, it just gives you a chance to get creative.
Right. Right. Yeah, very cool.
So it's fun, man. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So when Pat brought me on, and like it just was a great fit. And and again, when me and Pat tell our story, I mean, it resonates with people, and any athlete or family too. That's like that we're talking to about what we do and what we got going on.
We'll respect that.
They respect it, and plus, even if you don't want to go with us, well, you should find a relationship that looks like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's really really what it is. And dude, we do so many stuff that we don't literally get paid for, but it's just doing the right thing. Right. You know what I mean? It's spending time with the guys. It's connecting them with a network while they're playing, because obviously, as we know, like just people are more interested to while you're in the mix. You know what I mean? Like I've even noticed that as a player.
You form those relationships, you never know what can happen down the road as well. You know what I mean? So
absolutely, 1,000%. Because like the thing is, like even like I recognize like people were gravitated to me a lot more when I was playing. Right. We don't play. I mean, people still appreciated me and respected me, but it's just a little different. Yeah. So we try to get guys to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Again,
like
I'm
short, right?
For sure. Yeah, exactly. And you just never know when your next op's going to come from too, in any kind of conversation you have. So. We're open and willing to have any type of conversation around all of our athletes, and that's what me and Pat do. I mean, we roll our sleeves up in all our talent relationships.
Always years ago, I heard that term networking. Never really knew what it meant, but there is so much to networking. I mean, it's sort of the new way of doing business is networking. You can make a career out of it.
Yeah, no, it's I'm a big believer in it. And my thing is, like, even when I connect other people with other people, I got to believe there's wins on both sides.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I never make a connection just because I know it's going to serve me.
Right.
Yeah.
I just because that's like the shortest way to get to somewhere, and it always backfires. You know what I mean? Like, long-term relationships are proven in kind of just doing the consistent thing, the right way for the right people, and I'm very blessed to be in a position where I have a job that allows me to do that and create those connections and do what I love to do, and to work for people that I work for, and for a company that has, like, really the sky's the limit. I mean, we're doing all different types of stuff. Right. We actually started a podcast with Wyclef called Run That Back.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
He films at JC?
No, he films at his house in North Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, we film that up there. But yeah, it's
what's the name of it?
For now, but he's gonna I think he's gonna film in JC eventually. Run That Back.
Run That Back.
Yeah, it's really cool. We just rolled it out. I mean, but again, we do all different types of stuff. And
has it aired yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Music guests on, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, like, your network is so crazy. Like, that's what really pulls guests in. You know what I mean? Like, and we look at Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, what they do with all the smoke. I mean, that's how they get, like, they had Kobe Bryant on there. Little Wayne, Jamie Foxx. It's because they know these guys
in the studio, not this Zoom stuff.
So some was in the studio, some's live stream, some's offset to go meet, like,
I just think there's something so much. We've talked about Zoom a lot in here, and we have the opportunity to get bigger guests by doing that, but we just feel like there's something more personal to have people in studio. And I'm not saying we won't do it.
Yeah,
we very well. It opens up your guest list so much bigger.
I just feel like you watch the Zoom, even like with ESPN and like the delay, it fucks it up. It's way too much.
It's not like as engaging.
Right.
It's really not.
It's
you develop a personal connection. I mean, look, like, we're having a drink together.
And again, I'm not saying we'll never do it, but this for us, it just seems to be our fit.
For sure. But there is potential, like, going that Zoom route. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, both you guys know so many different
people.
I
think if you can keep those interviews short, like we'll probably be here a couple hours tonight with you and kick a few drinks back and just
it's great.
bro out. But if you
Absolutely.
can keep those Zoom interviews 10-minute, 15-minute, you can make them entertaining and interesting for sure.
For
you know?
sure, you keep those tight, and then you two can just riff. You know what I mean? Right after
we can
that.
talk about the interview. Yeah,
Talk
sure.
about the
Yeah,
interview
yeah.
or any kind of recent events or anything like that. I mean, but you guys are killing it, man. You guys just roll.
We're
with
having
it,
fun,
have
dude.
with
That's
it.
that's what we're doing.
We-
you know,
we-
And that's all you need to do
Right.
too. And plus, you guys have 2 different followings too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
lot of different engagement there, and it's been a lot of fun to follow you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm definitely fired up to even be here and to be talking to you guys.
No,
and
it's
I appreciate it.
We've had a few drinks now. Let me ask some hard hitting questions.
Yeah, okay, let's go. My wife's gonna be listening to this.
We're not going to make you tell your virginity story. That was sort of a staple.
Well, that's easy.
No,
that was with her.
It
so.
did that last time. So.
Yeah.
Oh wow, really? The girl you lost your virginity to? You married?
Yeah.
Good for
Oh,
you,
wow,
bro.
wow.
Wow.
Just hit the
Just hit any button really, but it should be fine. Yeah, did that last
All right,
time.
leave it,
Yeah,
leave
it's
it.
fine.
Don't worry
It's
about it.
fine.
It's
It's
all
recording. Politicizing sports.
You don't
Have
want to you don't want to tell his Virginia story to
yeah.
and have to go home to his wife.
Puts me in a tough spot.
In sports, I mean, obviously now a big thing is politicizing, the kneeling, things like that. Was there any of that in your time, and what is your take on that? What is your feeling on that? As a paid professional athlete, do you feel like that has a place there, or do you feel like they're using that platform for greater good, or do you feel like that's not the place for it?
You know what? That's a tough call. Only because I feel like people that you're given that platform, and you do earn that platform as an athlete. Like you paid the price to become a professional football player or Major League Baseball player or a UFC fighter, whatever that might be. So however you want to use, because think about it, people use their platform all the time for charity. You know what I mean? They use it all the time to fundraise money for great causes.
Right.
So if you want to use that platform to make a political statement, I think that's okay. You know what I mean? If you want to do that. You know, me, I'm just kind of like stay in my lane type of deal. I don't want to like stir the pot or whatever, you know, focusing on football. But I do understand the people that do that and have that kind of approach, though.
Okay, yeah, good,
Yeah.
solid answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have nothing but respect for that answer. I mean, it's a tough one because you know many people. One side of the, I guess the viewpoint of it is that it's unpatriotic to not stand for the
Yep.
you know the American flag and for
National anthem.
the national anthem and
sure.
I sort of can see both sides and what you said as an athlete makes sense. I mean I get that. But you know, I guess the flip side of that is you can't blame fans if they don't want to go, and that's you know it's all about making money and generating money. I mean, your income is generated on fans being in the stands. You know, so.
Yeah, no doubt, and fans have that ability to not do
Right.
that. But you know, the thing is, like, fans will still go.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
really will. You know, what I mean, just like
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
still fill UFC arenas. You know,
Right,
to watch
right.
people fight. You know, no matter who's fighting, it's just
Right.
it's exciting. But you know, my thing is just understanding both sides and respecting both sides.
Correct,
you know,
yeah.
like because I do live in that space a lot now, and even what we do as work, we have some alignments with people who are doing certain things, and I have a lot of respect for them and how they do it because I know them personally and I know their approach and how genuine they are behind it.
Right.
Now, some people might have alternative motives. Maybe they're trying to stir the pot or for the wrong reasons or whatever. You know, I can't speak for those people and how they're doing it and their
Right.
approach. But you know, I respect anybody who's taken their freedoms, and as long as there's plenty of things behind it, like as long as there's plenty of belief behind it, I respect anybody.
It's the intent that kind of matters. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, great answer. You know, and it's we've been put in a position to have some great athletes on here, and I think you know, as a football player, which seems to be ground zero for the kneeling and things like that,
For
I
sure.
thought that would be a fair question for you. I don't think in your time that was really going on, though, was it?
I just missed that, but again, I'm around a lot of guys who actually
Right.
who have knelt, and some of them are like my best friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and I know them so well. Like I know them everything. I know everything about them. I know their families. I know how they raise their kids. So like for them, like I always would say to them, even though like I might not know what you're going through, but I know you so well, and I respect the shit out of you.
Right.
Yeah.
So like.
So you
If
gotta
you
respect
so
their take on it.
exactly, so if you got an issue with it, then there's issues, in my opinion, because I know that because I know these dudes and I know how fucking stand up guys they are. You know what I mean?
Right,
So to
right.
me, and you know, and a lot of people that kneel for the flag, they'll tell you that kneeling for the kneeling, it wasn't just a disrespect. They don't mean no one of them, most of them don't mean to disrespect anything about you know the military and clearly every police officer or anything like that. But it's more just to raise awareness and just to create a conversation because they felt they weren't being listened to in the first place.
Right.
So you know, there's a lot of like takes on it and reasons and beliefs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's why America's so great because people have they can kneel. There's actually an Iranian wrestler right now that is about to get executed because he went to a peaceful protest.
Wow.
A peaceful, not protest that we're having around America right now. A legit peaceful protest. About,
what was the protest about?
Oh man, I read it and I forgot. Something about some rights, I think, or something.
Banning Panther tattoo?
No, something. There goes the Panther tattoo. It's fucking.
You're never gonna live that.
He
down.
ran out of dad jokes, so he's going right to the.
Was
to
that
the
one of your
lie of a
first
Panther.
tattoos though, Frankie? Like, was that?
It was 15, bro.
That was that your first tattoo?
See, people want to know.
But your
Frankie.
first
people
one
want to know.
your first one was a Panther? Like, I just would have went in like a million different directions besides a
I was
Panther.
15,
Bro, I got tribal. Listen, I'm not bragging over here. I got tribal.
95, 96, bro.
Kung Fu.
Yeah, true.
Kung Fu.
Wow, yeah.
14.
Kung Fu fighting. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So what was I saying before?
The wrestler.
The UFC.
Oh yeah, so like that
Iranian,
guy,
yep.
he went to a peaceful protest, and he's about. Like, Trump actually just tweeted like something in support of him, and I've seen a bunch of wrestlers talking about it.
Wow.
He's 20-something years old.
Well, isn't
He's
execution over there like it's not like here? They don't like they like stone you to death and shit.
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like the guys that were with him got like 75 years in prison or something.
Wow.
It's like, dude, that's what I'm saying. That's why.
Makes you realize you live in an
That's
amazing
why we have
country.
this country,
Right.
and like, yo, everyone talks how bad it is here. Like, no, it's not really bad. Like, these people they're not, they're able to protest peacefully, and you know what I mean. And they have this right to do this stuff, even if people look down on them, they still able to do it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, and it's all about approach. And my thing is like, where's the end game? You know what I mean? Like, the end game is to create conversation and to change things for the good.
For the better,
And
yeah.
Hopefully.
whatever that might be. You know what I mean? To me, that should always be the end game. So anybody's approach and whatever that opinion might be, my thing is you got to be able to listen to both sides. You can't shut anybody down because, again, if you shut someone down for their opinion, I don't care what that opinion is. And if you're hard on those people, then you're never going to be able to open up and have that conversation.
You look at, especially like social media, like that's where it's at right now, right?
Yeah.
Social media is where you get news. Most young people especially get news, and now they're fucking, like you said, they're shutting down one side of the conversation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The thing is to
It's
keep it
just
flowing,
crazy.
to keep it open.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
just crazy though.
And why is that?
Well, I mean,
You know.
because it doesn't fit their agenda. That they're
That's
trying
my
to
thing.
push.
See, my thing is you can't just shut down because you don't hear what you want to say.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
that's
that's
something
what
like
that-
literally.
that's what social media is
That's
doing,
literally
you
something
know?
my 3-year-old son would do.
Right,
if I told him you couldn't do something, he would just shut it. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no, no,
let's you have a conversation. My thing is, if you really want change, you want people's mind.
Correct.
Because a way to not do that is to shut someone down and then no conversation happens. You think you just changed their mind? No,
Right.
they're going to just sit. They're going to sit quietly with their opinions and never talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, right now there's a lot of silent majority right now going on in our country because of that. A lot of people are scared to speak up because you get crushed by one side.
But I just feel like
if you do.
when some people speak up, especially celebrities, they're very divisive, and I think that's just fucking bad.
Yeah,
Like,
that-
you got a lot of people looking at you, man. They look up to you, and you're being divisive. Like it's not cool. Don't be trying to pick a side here.
Exactly.
Like we're all in this together.
bring people
You know what I mean?
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that these I'm not that big of a high profile person like some of these guys. Obviously. And,
You're pretty high
well,
profile.
not-
Let's let
but
yourself
nowhere
short, my
near
guy.
like the guys that are out
UFC Hall of
talking.
Famer.
And I just feel like, dude, stop with the divisiveness.
But if that side is
Yeah.
all
And
about,
I get it. It's tough. It's tough. People
My
trying to
thing-
fight for their thing,
Yeah.
and I get you. Fight for your shit, but don't fight for your shit and then
right.
And then bash someone
and bash
else's.
someone else's stuff.
My
You know what I
thing,
mean?
my
Yeah.
thing is
especially when you claim your side is all about tolerance. You know what I mean?
I'm not even saying like that's
but that's kind of true though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but my thing is just to have be engaging, be willing to have
talking
the
is
conversation.
the best thing to get to have.
Push the conversation.
But what bothers me too is like everyone talks about how bad, dude. This is literally in the history of man. We are in the most peaceful time of ever. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's only getting better. Like,
Yeah.
what are we complaining about so much?
Yeah.
And look, and I get it. It doesn't mean not to work on making things better, because you could always work to make things better. But don't act like we're shitty right now. Like, there's less violence, like wars, than ever before right now in the whole world. I mean, that's gotta mean something, right?
Yeah, it should for sure.
You know.
But
Yeah.
the flip side of that is more enslaved right now than ever.
More enslaved?
Yeah, than ever.
The world?
Yeah, more slavery than ever.
Yeah.
Like
Human
child
trafficking.
human trafficking. Yeah.
It's actually a proven statistic.
Really?
I think you throw a lot of people off when you say the word slavery and then you talk
Human
about
trafficking.
and which listen, they're definitely
Slavery,
but
still
it's,
slavery.
you think of slavery, you sort of think of
Oh my god.
you're talking about
never
you're talking about children, correct?
Yeah, and humans, period.
Human trafficking in what
Both
way?
Children and humans.
Children and adults, you
And
mean.
adults, I mean. Sorry.
being trafficked in the sex trade world?
Well, any trade. Doesn't even matter sex.
Be a little more specific, though, if you can.
Like even working like in the field.
No,
everything.
He means
See, I thought you meant. I thought you meant what
Sex trafficking too,
you know. With I mean, it's crazy how many children have been found recently
Yeah,
in trailer
States.
parks, and it's
Yeah,
crazy.
in
Like
our
I don't remember that happening in my lifetime in those numbers ever. So I thought you meant children, but you explain what you mean a little better.
So so what I found out, it's not just children.
Okay.
It's a wide variety of people. It doesn't even mean sex either.
Okay.
It means you're a slave pretty much, and whatever they want you to do.
like clean your house.
Whatever they want you to do, you're a slave though.
I
You're
could
a
use
part
one.
of
I
this
could use
realm.
one of them right now.
You're a part of this realm though. You know, it's like
Yeah.
What do you mean part of this realm? Here we go. Here we go. Here we
I
go.
know,
Here we
not
go.
realm, but it's like it's a real major issue.
Everybody, welcome to the Matrix. You've just entered Drunk Jesse world.
But it is though. It's like there's more enslaved right now than
I know, but and I'm not trying to pressure you in any way, but for me, for our viewers, for our listeners, try to clarify that a little bit. I mean, clearly, what's in the news right now obviously has a lot to do with sex trafficking with children,
more
and
children.
that's a huge
More children.
Okay,
A lot of children.
but you're talking about adults too, and I guess I haven't heard a lot about this. How are they enslaved? In what way? Frankie's obviously making jokes talking about cleaning houses, but how so? I haven't heard anything.
I would say they were brought up in it since children, and then now it's evolved to just in the whole realm. They're getting sold. It's the biggest industry right now than anything that we know about, and it's not talked about on MSN, mainstream media. It's not talked about it.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a number of theories of thought on that, I'm sure, but you're right. I would think that would be bigger news than any.
Statistics was 10 million.
It seems like the
3
biggest
million.
word on social media and mainstream media in the day and age we live in is the word racism, right? That seems like the most used word you can. But
That's far-fetched,
children
though.
being
That's
traded into sex
Is that
should be.
Is that what you blacked out on your arm?
Oh, here we go. No, it was a panther actually.
That is true, though. But I think the whole talk about racism is separate us and not even acknowledge what's really
The
going
bigger
on.
picture.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
Because the world I come from, there is no racism like that. I get there's racism in the world. There's also evil in the world. There's bad lawyers. There's bad doctors. There's bad everything. But
Well, yeah. I Kevin said it
Bad
coming in
truck
here.
drivers too.
bad truck drivers.
Perspective and putting things in perspective. For me, I agree with you. I would think that would be higher on the scale than racism. And I'm not saying racism isn't a huge issue. It is. And listen, that's a conversation we've had down here many times. But you're right. Why does that not get a lot of play when 135 children are found in a trailer park? And I mean, why does that not get a lot of mainstream media play? I don't know. I wish I could answer that.
It baffles my mind.
Right.
I don't know.
It's just scary. You have kids that you have kids. That scares the shit out of me. Man.
Yo,
Yeah.
when you have kids, dude, and you think of things in just such a different way, man. It's so true. You know what I mean? And that's honestly, I realized that even when, like, I don't mean to go back, but like when my brother got hurt, like it was one thing, it affected me like brother to brother, but it affected my parents in a way different way. And I honestly can never really understand it. I used to like, I'm going through it too. Like, he's my brother. Like it bothers me as well. But like when I had kids, when I had my firstborn Cameron,
You get it.
that's when I was like, holy shit. Like it is way different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I give my parents so much credit for everything they do around my brother and all of us. But it's so true though. It's different when you have kids. Man. It gives you a different type of perspective.
And like,
you know that, Roger.
I mean, dude, imagine you have kids. I wouldn't give a fuck about nothing going on. I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't care about nothing.
But
since I have kids, I fucking care.
No, but how recently did you start caring about like your kid, possibly being abducted or whatever? Recently, right? For me,
I don't know. They're gonna give my kids right back. No, I just mean like
listen, I'm not haunted by it. It's not an everyday thought. It's not like I leave my kids and take them on.
I've been living in Tom's River for 35 plus years, and there's no one.
But to Roger's point though, like
you
for
think
even to be-
about
for
it
even to
now,
be a thought.
right now.
Yeah,
I
you
never
do.
ever thought about it at any other time, and I've only been a parent for my daughter's 6, but still, in that time, I always rolled my eyes. Okay, here's an example. Not that long ago, maybe a year ago, maybe not even that long ago, in the paper there was an article about a guy caught on security cam in like an SUV rolling around talking to young kids trying to get them in the car. It was in your neighborhood, I think. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I rolled my eyes. I was like, this is probably some dude throwing newspapers. I didn't think twice. It probably was some fucking creep now. You know what I mean? Probably was.
I mean, I'm sure they're out there. I mean, obviously, all these people get kidnapped, but I mean, yeah. I would love
But
to
at the
catch one of
time,
these people.
that was like a year ago. I didn't put much thought in it, but now you see what's in the news, and now I think, well, I mean, this guy could have been a total perv, literally trying to pick up a kid. You know what I mean?
Maybe he's trying to pick up 6'4" guys.
Here we go. Definitely not trying to pick up a 135-pounder. That's for sure. That's going to be no fun.
Roger, what was some other? You have some other quick hitters for me?
Well, that was the one. That was the
one.
first one that obviously popped, into my head. Yeah, no. You got any other questions for Gavin?
Quick hitters, like some
No, hard hitters.
Hard hitters, quick hitters.
hard hitters. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm so sick of this whole ordeal with everything.
That was it. I guess that would have been another one of my questions. Is your overall take from a personal level? Don't give me your PC answer on COVID-19 and I'm not saying is it real. Clearly, it's real. Clearly, we're all grown men in here. We understand that it is real, but is it being overplayed and overhyped, and are we being fear-mongered in the media? I mean, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, for sure.
How do you feel about the mask, too?
Yeah, for
Welcome to the Jesse Holt Show.
Yes, I love this. I love this. Give me a complete shit show. Like I thrive in this moment. You guys have no idea. But no, I think there's some over drama there. You know what I mean? I really do. And you wonder, like, for agendas and who's trying to be right, who's trying to be wrong. Like, I'm just conscious of all that moving forward. A lot of it's common sense. You know what I mean? Just be safe in your own kind of way, and you know what I mean. Like, and just kind of go about life. But to shut down, like, literally everything. There's a lot of people suffering during this time, and that's
incredible amount.
And that's one thing.
And that will transcend through. Not just today, tomorrow. If their business shut down, that's some of these are 3-4 generation businesses.
For sure.
3rd, 4th generation business is going to affect their children. It affects a lot, and this
for sure.
has a huge, profound effect on small business.
No,
there's no greater killer than poverty in any situation.
You're right, man.
And now, if you look at these actual numbers, as Frankie mentioned earlier,
Frankie rattled those stats off.
Yeah.
He was right. I thought they were written on his hand.
2.6 comorbidities, right?
I thought they were written on his cast right there.
Comorbidities,
sorry. Comorbid. Frankie's correcting me again.
You say co-mobilities, like they help you get around and shit.
But my thing is, I just hope they're being very careful in everything they're doing, and I hope they're being very accurate, because again, it's affecting a lot of different people in a lot of different ways.
Right.
There's some people that are really struggling, and even in my business, luckily not so much the company I work for and what we're doing, but there's a lot of people in the industry that are getting like laid off, and because there's no work for them to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like you would just feel bad if they were getting it wrong.
Right,
you know what I mean? It's it's tricky.
Yeah, it's just I can't wait. Hopefully in November it's all over. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a couple of points of view on that. It either is over or it gets worse. I mean,
buckle up and get some guns.
They said no matter what, buckle up though.
Well, they're saying gun sales are through the roof.
Ammo's out of stock.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Most gun sales in any single year in the U.S. history this year.
I did just pick up an AR and a shotgun, a pistol grip shotgun.
Did you really?
I
seen you guys shooting.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, Roger's winning the quarantine. Roger, like every weekend, this guy
lives it up,
dude.
bro.
The new backyard.
Thank you, brother.
Sick.
Thank you.
Who did that for you again? Give him a shout out.
Well, my buddy Phil, Metro Pools up north, did the pools, and my buddy Vidi Catalina Landscaping is the one that came up with the beautiful design with the kitchen and all the landscaping and everything. So yeah,
Roger's been winning the quarantine.
He really appreciate
has.
it, brother.
He really
appreciate
has.
I'm on the go, man, with the kids all the time. And it was the best year possible to build that backyard and put a pool in, because in the beginning of this, we didn't want to leave. We were like shit, and then it didn't take me long before I sort of came up with my opinion on it, and then we were out and about as much as we could be, and just I try not to let it affect my kids' life, because they don't know. They're 4 and 6. They don't get it. 100%. I'm not going to be this dad that's like you have to live in a bubble. I did my research. I came up with my thoughts on it and where I felt. And, I mean, the odds of a 4 and 6 year old even having a symptom is like zero. You know what I mean? So
I'll tell you the odds. It's actually no.
Yeah.
Frankie knows all the odds.
Yeah. 0.002 or something.
It's pretty much. They have better odds of choking on a goldfish while being struck by lightning. You know what I mean?
Dude, how good is this though?
I gotta try.
Peanut butter whiskey.
Yo, What Roger? What are you working on? Was that
That was tequila.
Terramana.
Yeah.
Terramana.
Let me get a little sip of the peanut butter.
Get the rest of the
Peanut
tequila.
butter?
It's gone, buddy. It's gone.
Frankie, can you pass?
Yo, the peanut butter.
It's gone.
Get it. Peanut butter jelly time.
Peanut butter jelly time.
So a buddy introduced this to me during the quarantine. And
I saw it in the liquor store, and I thought about picking it up, but I didn't. I should have. Yeah.
I've been telling everybody I know about it, and everybody's been getting locked in, man.
good.
This is legit. Screwball.
Screwball. Shout out to
Peanut
Screwball.
Peanut butter.
Shout out to Kalo.
And our other partners,
Yeah,
Kalo.
Yeah.
Other partners,
Dude, those
Kalo.
Kalos,
here.
I've been drinking them for a while now, man. They're
And
fucking
Kevin
good.
Stewart put us onto that back in the Polar Bear Plunge. That was our
The
thing.
cake
Yep,
stew.
yep.
He put it on.
Cake
Nice.
stew.
Nice. Yeah, man. Kalo,
That polar bear
Kalo-
plunge was kind of the last thing that we did
That was it.
as a group of friends that was normal. There was thousands of
I told
people.
you.
I got to do that. I
Oh.
never
Thousands.
Did it. I never did.
I never did it either.
2 years in a row. I have
I
two.
gotta do it.
I
No doubt,
have,
no doubt. I'm with you guys.
listen,
I'm
I
with
have
you guys.
2
Count
years
me
It
in
was
a
like
row.
Kev. It was like the last normal thing we did, right?
Bro,
and then
no
the
lie,
world
no
shut
lie,
down.
no
You
lie.
guys had a good mix with you.
Yeah.
Jamie was with
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
right? Javanzio.
Yeah.
Man,
Listen,
I love that guy, by the way.
So I did 2 years in a row. Both times I've done it, I've never seen Seaside, the boardwalk and the beach more packed.
Really?
Ever Heights.
Ever.
Never.
Really?
That's the most packed day.
I agree.
I've had.
And you've seen a lot of
Yeah,
boardwalk in
yeah,
your day.
hell yeah.
You seen a lot of Seaside
And to be
boardwalk.
that packed, usually there's problems. There was not a single
Yeah,
issue.
dude, people
Everybody was
are there for a
happy-go-lucky.
good cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
No
know what
doubt.
they're there for, and,
Love
and
that.
it was good.
Love
Yeah.
that, man. That's great.
They raised money for Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a great cause.
And that's
man.
cool, you know. I actually have my aunt
Awesome
has
cause.
Down syndrome, you know.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. My
Really?
aunt and my cousin on my dad's side.
On your
yeah,
dad's
yeah,
side?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So strikes close to home a little
Yeah,
bit. You
no
know?
doubt, dude.
Yeah.
I give so much credit to anybody just that has any kind of challenge in their life
Right.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all
You know,
so
it's crazy.
we're all
'Cause
so
you- like,
lucky.
especially with them. Like I'm like, they don't know. They don't know.
And they don't know.
They're the happiest fucking people.
I'll tell you. I'll
know?
tell you what I have zero toleration for is people that
Fuck
like
with them.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
I'll
no.
tell you right now. If I ever see that,
I agree.
like that would never
I
fly.
don't know. But
You know what I mean?
I was
Like,
told
that
by my
would-
dad, like, yo,
But
someone
we're
fucking
dealing-
says something,
That-
you get them. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
But we're dealing with a day and an
Absolutely.
age where everybody is nameless and faceless,
Well,
and
yeah, because you can
and
over that. Yeah.
and is a scumbag. And if you're nameless and faceless, you there's never reparations. You don't have to pay. You know, you never have to come to.
You're right. Yeah.
You don't have to meet the guy that you picked on. You know what I mean? You can just do it, and that's what social media is. You know,
That's one unfortunate thing about social media.
it is. It is.
It has its pros and cons.
It does.
You know,
It
it
really
really
does.
does. It
I
really
mean,
does.
it's
Early
the
on-
news is at your palm, bro. You have the
Yep.
you can get the literally news quicker on Twitter than you can anywhere in the world.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
You know, you get it pretty much play by play. But there's just so much hate and
But
negativity.
that's us to
And
judge other people and help them, guide them, and not let that ever happen.
Yeah.
That's up to us.
Yeah, but it's
People
it's
look
up.
to
Well,
you, people look up to you.
set a precedence
It does.
to a
No,
degree.
I know, but I never set out to be a role model to nobody.
You don't have
That's
to.
not my thing
Yeah.
either. Like I'm like, I never like I'm a
by
fighter,
example.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm
But
a
you
fi-
not you
like,
but
do
honestly
you
your
want- do-
mannerisms though, you
No,
naturally
yeah,
are.
no,
though.
and
You
I get it.
naturally are.
Listen, what
Yeah.
this is what I do. Like I'm a fighter. I never went to be. I wanted to fucking beat people up, but I don't know if you want your kid to be like, looking up to that person type of person. That's really it. That I wanted to be the toughest guy in the world. That's why I did this. But I have my own kids. To my own kids, I'm trying to be a role model. So
Yeah, for
hopefully
sure.
I'm good to them, and most kids will
No
will
doubt.
follow suit anyway. You know.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
but you were never that guy to fuck with, like, just start some shit over nothing.
No,
Yeah,
not
that
over
is true,
nothing.
yeah.
But I definitely was that guy
No,
to
but you
handle some
finish
shit.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Frankie's got some stories.
He does. We've talked about him.
Oh,
but
yeah, I know,
honestly,
I know. Yeah.
for a guy that's got 27 fights in the UFC, been fighting in the the stories he loves the most, the fights he's the most proud of, which is so cool to hear, are the ones on Jersey Shore.
Dude, they're the
You know
best.
what I mean?
Dude.
Everyone said they're the most fun. They
Yeah.
don't last very long. And it's just your friends are involved. You're fucking hammered half the time.
Roger to this day is the most liked guy on Jersey Shore. I don't care what anybody
I
says.
appreciate that.
Everyone always watched that
Well,
show.
it depends who you ask.
Well,
Don't ask my ex-wife.
No, I was gonna say, and most
Well,
people.
Listen,
when they
I
watch,
joke. We're good now.
And
We're good
most
now.
people, when they watch the old episodes, it's funny. My wife just went through all the old episodes. So actually, during the quarantine, the beginning of quarantine,
No
we watched
shit.
a lot of Jersey Shore. I
That's
was seeing
awesome.
you on there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
funny,
yeah.
and it's funny just knowing you now. But most people will say when they watch that, though, everyone always goes, "Hey, Roger guy, he's pretty cool. He's a pretty good guy." You know, like everyone you find rarely like anybody that says
That's
anything
cool
bad
to
about
hear, man. That's cool to hear.
Yeah.
I never had any problems with anybody on the show, but I also wonder how much my size played into that because they're all kind of
no doubt.
they're all
They're
kind
all
of little
kinda-
guys. And when I came in the house, nobody really said shit, but they're not very big dudes. You know what I mean? So
exactly. Did you enjoy like everybody? What did you enjoy being around on that show? And
no, I was not prepped for it. I get bad anxiety. Like when I'm put on the spot, I get anxiety. I was not at all prepared for that at all. I just listen, I was talking to a pretty girl, and it's funny because when I first saw Jenny, I had no idea she was connected to a show. She walked into, and this was before the show was even sold, before the show even had a name. I've told it before on it, but she was just a pretty girl that walked into the club. She walked into Karma. I was there with my buddy Vasily. We were hanging out, and this pretty girl walks in wearing like a handkerchief for a shirt. Had no idea. Now I knew that there was a film crew like way in the back out on the dance floor, but again, they're shooting like a pilot. It's kind of like this, just kind of strung together. You know, they're trying to pitch a show, which happens in at the Jersey Shore a lot. There's been a ton of MTV shows filmed down there.
You're right.
But this girl walked in, no cameras near her, no producers, no nothing, and I was like, damn, you know what I mean? And this, you know, so she walked past me, I made eye contact. And then she went to the cameras, and then I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not going out there." You know, locals don't want anything to do with that. Well, my buddy Vasily, our good friend Vasily, was dating, I forget her name, but that young chick, that like 22-year-old he was dating for a while, and she, of course, wanted to be part of it. So she worked her way over, got Jenny, and brought her back over. That's how we first met, first time ever we ever met, and you know, it actually. Yeah, it actually never made the air. That actually, our first interaction never made the air. But, you know, to your question, how was that? Was I ready for it? No, man. It went 1,000 miles an hour from that point on. Actually, not that point, because she was dating. She was actually living with a guy at the time. So we hung out that night. Nothing inappropriate. It was all. But the seed was sort of planted, and I walked her home, and I left, and then they went to Miami and did another season, and then they came back to Jersey Shore season 3, and she reached out to me when they came back, and that's where season 3 shit just went from 0 to 100 miles an hour for like 6 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was I was not prepared for that. But again, you know, I worked a normal job every day. I never quit that. I never had these illusions of grandeur, like I'm the next big thing. And
I respect that. Yeah.
I didn't get paid for any of it. Not that I wanted to. I didn't. But I was, you know, my weekends, my weekdays were pretty normal. I worked. You know, and my weekends were fucking insane.
It's reality stuff.
So
dude,
it was
wild,
crazy.
Dude.
But
it's
no regrets, man. And listen, obviously everybody knows how Jenny and I ended up. We had a pretty messy divorce, but we're friends now. We talk all the time. We co-parent really well. We want the best for our children. But I have zero, and I mean zero regrets. The two greatest things that came out of our relationship are those two amazing kids we have. You know what I mean?
Awesome,
so.
Man.
Yeah,
that's special.
So, and I wish her all the best in you know, they're filming again in a new season, and I wish her all the best. For me, it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders that I don't have to do that anymore. You know, I never thought I would be doing it still with children.
Yep.
Nor did I ever think, but you know, I'm happy for her. She's still making a great payday. That's her career. That's her life, and totally happy for her. But for me, I'm glad that has ended in my life, because it's constant pressure. You never know how you're going to come across on TV. You know, a lot happens on the editing room floor. You know what I mean? I mean, they can change complete scenarios there. They don't make you do anything, but you know,
but they can position it in a certain way so you look like a good or
it's like a 50-minute show or a 45-minute show with commercials put into it. You know, it's an hour, but you take and they got to make the most happen in 45 minutes that they can. You know what I mean? To make it a successful show. And then, you know, we all know reality TV is full of drama, so a lot happens on the cutting room floor. So I'm glad I don't have to worry about that anymore. Yeah.
I mean, that show's like iconic. It really is. Like everyone knows about it. And literally anytime like I would travel for football or whatever. Anyway,
when you say where you're from,
because I am from the Jersey Shore. Like I'm Ocean County. It's fucking Jersey Shore. You know, like I say I'm from the Jersey Shore, like right away. Like I like that show. Like is that show really depicted? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, you know what I mean?
They're like, are people really like that?
Are people really like that? Yeah. But I always say there's all different types of people. There's all different types of people. There's surfers. There's literally all different types of people that walk that boardwalk.
It's definitely a dynamic, and that show was cast incredibly well. I mean, the cast they put together for that. And the diversity between them, and the eccentric personalities. I mean, it was cast perfectly. But that shit goes on at Seaside every day. Listen, I went to Seaside for years before that show ever came around, and there was fighting, there was fucking, we just didn't have all the catchy phrases. You know?
Exactly. Are you still close with like a lot of the cast?
I talked to Ronnie today. You know, Ronnie and I were texting back and forth today. I mean, he went through a lot of shit. He was but you know, he's a good father. We talk about fatherhood and stuff like that.
That's cool.
They're filming again right now, so I don't talk to.
Where are they filming?
I honestly couldn't answer that. I'm not part of it anymore. I don't know. I just know that they are.
In Jersey, you think?
I'm sure. Yeah. So
is that like a political response, or like, or you really don't know?
I truly, honestly do not know. Truly, honestly do not know. But
can't leak it.
you know, everybody grew up. Not everybody, but a lot of people have families now. A lot of people have kids now.
Yeah.
So it's not the old Jersey Shore, although they would love it if it was, because it would be huge ratings.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm sure they follow people around wherever they are to some degree now. You know what I mean?
Isn't it? I think they're still their highest rated show on TV.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah, probably.
TV's just not doing it no more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it had all the dynamics.
It did.
Fighting, fucking, you know.
It
It had
people love drama.
Yeah.
It really did. That episode where Snooki gets hit.
Well, that's what launched them. The two things really launched them into
that episode's
infamy.
Like,
and that guy was a school teacher.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
But
that
he was a gym teacher, I think. But anyway, that launched them into infamy, and the Italian American organization flipping out and causing so much drama around the show, and them flying, painting the garage, the American, Italian flag, and that just hyped it more. Controversy is not always a bad thing. I mean, if you're trying to create hype,
yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah. It's a good time to announce that Frankie's gay. I don't know if everybody is aware of that or not.
This is what Roger's wishing. Roger's wish.
Yo,
Roger always
left field with that one.
Roger always.
Hang on a minute. This is the dick pic he tried to send me earlier.
Roger likes little guys. Roger likes little guys. That's all.
That literally came out of left field. Wasn't ready for that one.
No, we all knew. Didn't come out of left field. We all knew. Renee told me.
Yeah. That's classic.
Hey, not a Panther joke.
Not a Panther joke. It was just a bad gay joke. It's all right. It's all right. Got to divert it.
That's it.
All right, I got a question.
All right.
And to me, this always tells me like a lot about something. I'm getting a little deep.
Ooh, here we go.
I'm getting a little deep. What I'm about to say.
All right.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
ahead.
getting a little deep.
The drinks have been
and this
flowing.
is one for each of you, right?
Yeah.
So each of you prepare your response, and whoever wants to go first, whoever can go first, you guys can discuss. What's the biggest adversity you ever had to come across? Like literally the biggest adversity that you ever had to come across, and that you learned a lot from, that you can like kind of lean on to this day for becoming the man you are today.
Truly?
Yeah. So Roger's
being publicly assassinated.
Yeah.
I mean, literally for a short period of time, I think, until people like sort of came to the realization that, maybe that's not entirely accurate. I was a hated man for a little period of time, and that was tough. And
how did you get through that?
I wallowed in self-pity for about 3 months. Went to counseling, went to a church group, I did a lot of
Really some kumbaya.
Yeah.
Held the hands of
And none of that helped. And finally, at one point in time,
serious moment.
none of that really helped. It just kind of got me through to the next day. But at some point in time, I had to realize, like, do you like the guy in the mirror? Are you going to believe this? Or do you like the guy that you look at in the mirror every day, and do you know who that guy is? And do your core group of people around you, especially your family, and I knew the answer to that. And then I just had to dig myself out of that hole and stop wallowing in self-pity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, take a day at a time.
Yeah. So that was probably my biggest. But
I appreciate you sharing that, Roger.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
For me, I don't know. It's tough to say. Probably the biggest adversity early on in my life was my parents getting divorced and having to deal with that.
Yep.
That was definitely a little. It wasn't like my parents definitely beefed growing up, and
How old were you?
I was 7 or 8 when they got divorced.
Yep.
And it was.
Did you know this was going to be a psychology session? By the way,
I didn't know. Like something
No,
happened.
but I like when the guest flips it on us. I do. I like that. I love that.
But like cops came to my head, like a big
for
fucking
sure.
event.
It was tough.
But so that was definitely adversity. But I mean, I definitely I would say as far as like athletics and whatnot, adversity was my I had a back issue my senior year in high school. So that summer going into my freshman year of college, so on a full scholarship. My back went out bad. Like that whole summer, I was like, I'm gonna get ready for D1. I'm gonna start training with a bunch of D1 guys. Like I was ready to go. and I was like really fucked up and didn't know what was wrong with me. It actually felt like something in my leg, but it turned out it was my back shooting down my leg. I couldn't do like 3 calf raises on my right or left side. I don't remember what it was, and I didn't tell my coaches or nothing, and I got surgery like 3 weeks before I left for school.
You got surgery without telling a coach or
without
nothing?
telling the coach.
Really?
Yeah,
it's bold.
Yeah, so I show up. I'm like, yeah, I just had surgery like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They're like, what? And I'm like, I'm good. And I've literally that week, like people are running, like I'm going for a run. I'm like, all right.
So you had back surgery?
Yeah, I had.
Wow.
I had a micro. Honestly, this was 20 years ago, year 2000. But it was a microdiscectomy.
Same. I had 2 of those.
It cut out, some of my herniation, and it did work. I mean, but I was literally training 2.5 weeks after.
Wow.
Because my teammates are going for runs. I'm like, well, I'm going with you. We're doing buddy carries up the hills and shit. You know what I mean? And I was doing everything. I started that year, and that was tough to get through. I just found a way to make it happen.
Dude, it's so fun. Even just watching you now.
That mental toughness.
And everything you've been through, and to still compete at the highest level.
38 years old, man.
Think about that.
38 years old.
Like I love bragging about Frankie and like everything he's accomplished and who he is as a person and a family man. But I mean, dude, to get in that octagon, and
sort of did things in reverse, really. I mean, to fight at his lightest at 38, you would think that would have happened early in his career. He would have gone the opposite way.
For sure.
He would have gone from light to.
When I first started, I mean,
they didn't have it. They didn't have it.
There wasn't even a 55-pound division.
Right.
The stories of Frankie first starting, are like I'm like infatuated with. They're fun to listen to because it was like literally money had nothing to do.
Correct.
Literally, money has nothing to do with it. You could tell it's just pure will and just I want to be the fucking baddest man when I walk in this octagon, like plain and simple. And like I remember, like even I had Frankie speak to the Rutgers football team.
Yeah, he talked about
this.
This
was like last year, Frankie. It was.
Yeah.
Dude, you could have heard a fucking pin drop.
Yeah,
in this
people
place.
pay attention.
And honestly, locking in kids from 18 to 23, like to focus on something, like especially at being a Big Ten football player, everyone's too cool. These guys were locked in listening to Frankie speak. Like I would occasionally look back up into the
This guy spoke to the Giants.
Dude, oh my God.
Jets.
Oh, sorry, Jets.
Jets.
But very close.
That was like when you were playing.
That was right. Yeah, that was right around the time I was still playing. But yeah, man, it was just so cool to even see like the engagement you had with those kids.
But if it hadn't happened the way it happened, right? Like you said, there wasn't even a 55 division when he first got in. It was only a 55 division. But if it hadn't happened, I mean, like if you could pan out your fight career, obviously it would have been greater to start at a lighter, I think. But he wouldn't have had those trilogies with Gray Mater. He wouldn't be as He may not have been a Hall of Famer. It happened for the right reasons.
It definitely
did. What I mean?
Even a story where he tells where he broke his nose for the first time. That's like a crazy story. It's
the up kick from Benson, you mean?
No.
I'm talking.
I broke my face.
When you broke your very like one of your first fights.
My first fight, yeah.
Where was it? In the Bronx, right?
Yeah. I blew my nose.
And you blew your nose and the whole thing.
Yeah.
That story is like it's wild. Yeah, absolutely. It's nuts, dude.
That's why this fight, they sent me to the hospital after the fight to get X-ray on my face. And I'm like, listen, it's not broken. Like I know, dude, I literally.
You just know.
The one fight, I was getting ready for Max, and I got hit with a spinning back kick to the face in sparring on accident. It was a low kick. I ended up lowering my level at the same time. It was just a freak accident, but it hit me like perfect with my cheekbone. Boom, hits me. I go to my coach, and I felt that. I just felt it. I felt that numbness. I go, it's fucking broke. It's fucking broke. He's like, God, what are you talking about? Relax. I'm like, no, I fucking know. It's fucking broke.
You just know. At this time, you
know
it all.
100%.
Yeah. And I went out to that Max fight, and that was like just an unbelievable experience. Just to see that atmosphere. And honestly, my thing is, especially in football and my experiences with that, is the greatest compliment you can receive is someone who went through it with you and can say like that dude did it the right way, or that dude did whatever it takes, and it almost doesn't matter like what status or whatever. And like that's what's really cool. One of my favorite things with Frankie is when Frankie fights, if you check the UFC account and people retweeting about like Frankie or tweeting about Frankie, it's all nothing but like incredible respect.
Well,
and the thing is like that really is the greatest compliment you can receive in your profession.
Yeah.
Is someone who did it.
Peers, yeah.
No, people that like literally went through it. Like they fucking know how hard it is to like to get into that UFC octagon, or for me it was playing on the NFL field, and like to say like. That guy gets it, because it almost like the fan like can't really quite grasp like the training and what it takes to really do it or how to do it. And to me, that's one of the greatest compliments you can receive. So like watching Frankie, like, and then again, if you watch that UFC Twitter account, like you see all these retweets of like any fighter going on right now, or any kind of past fighter, or even celebrities, like just fucking, like to me that says
since the Conor McGregor era too. Also the new thing is to talk shit about your opponent.
No doubt.
I've never heard anybody talk shit about him, and that's a lot in 13-year career in the UFC.
It's definitely respect, but I mean, I give respect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You do. Yeah. And people don't mind giving you respect for that. You know what I mean? It's.
There was one guy you can think of that you would have wanted to disrespect in your long and illustrious career that you didn't have a lot of respect for. If you could pick one, who would it be?
Honestly, no one.
Really?
I had a respect for all these dudes, and they've all been good to me. All of them.
Dude, even seeing McGregor, McGregor talks shit about everybody, and he really didn't have it. Like he says nice things
really
about Frankie.
didn't,
You know, like he really
but
does.
Like people I fought though, for sure. No. It's funny actually. I seen the dude that I fought in Bronx, my very first fight. He was cornering someone on my
Get
fight
out of here,
card.
really?
Yeah.
Recently, in the recent fight you just had?
Fight,
no way.
Cornering someone. Yeah, Eric Uresk. Yeah.
No
He moved to Thailand, was coaching. Now he coaches at Alliance.
Did you guys
And
speak?
Frankie, that was your first actual like.
It was not. It's not on my record either. It's not on my record. It was. I mean, it was 2.5 minutes. I got him out of there.
In the Bronx,
but it was.
Street, right?
No. It was in a boxing. Jerome's boxing.
About the same as you do with Renee. 2.5 minutes. She's out of there.
Listen, as long as we get it done, quick, man. As long as we,
right? You better get yours because I'm getting mine.
Yeah, as long as she gets hers and I get mine, it don't give a fuck how quick it is.
Right, that's the truth.
Nah, I appreciate you guys sharing the adversity.
Yeah.
Because to me, like, I honestly, I think it's a great interview question too.
Yeah.
It's a little
It
deep
is.
for an
It
interview,
is a
but
good
like,
question.
because you can learn a lot about someone.
I'm gonna steal it.
By how
I'm gonna steal it.
by how they respond to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
for sure.
Because you really do.
You sort of test somebody's honesty too, because you
No
can
doubt.
tell a bullshit answer if you hear one. You know what I mean?
100%. No doubt.
Someone
No doubt.
talks about the time their car broke down on the side of the road is probably not the legitimate answer, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's true.
But it's crazy. Some people have fucking adversities that are much greater than what
Way
we
more
talked
than
about.
we'll
Yeah.
ever deal with. Yeah.
No, for sure. It's soft though. I mean, you went through back surgery and you fought that. It's that early in your career and everything you've been through.
I was 18 years old. 20 years ago.
I mean, talk about like even like like wrestling in that foundation and how that helped you in the UFC. Like talk about
Wrestling
the importance
helped
of
me just because
is wrestling one of the most important, you think?
Categories.
I think so. I mean, listen,
Like foundations to
yes,
have.
and not be. To me, I'm gonna tell you this why. Of course, because the technique is you're controlling a body and this and that. But like boxing has a finishing punch, jiu-jitsu has a finishing submission. Wrestling doesn't have anything finishing, right?
Yep.
But what wrestling teaches you, like I had this conversation with Nick because we talk about some of the young guys and maybe they don't do the right things, and I'm like, dude, we don't take in consideration that we wrestle D1 programs. And we take that for granted.
Yep.
You wrestle a D1 program, bro. You especially if you wanted to win. I wanted to fucking win, and I didn't accomplish my goals in college. But I trained like I was trying to accomplish my goals. I trained just like the fucking national champ did. I 100%. I guarantee it because I trained my fucking ass off. I wanted to be national champ, didn't work out. I wanted to be an All-American, didn't work out. I was close, you know what I mean. But I put the work in to do it. It's not like I was a lazy fucking guy and that's why I didn't do it. I put the work in, it just didn't work out for me. But when you wrestle, you got to learn about sacrifice, discipline, all that stuff because you're cutting weight. You have school to work with too. You got to fucking still do your grades. You still have to get a certain good enough grades to pass and this and that. Yep. So all that stuff. You have to teach you how to prioritize. Put priorities in order. And then when real life, like now, I'm fighting. I have a family. I have this. I got to find a way to still do this. You know what I mean? I don't get to just fucking fight, come home, and do nothing. I still got to deal with my kids, figure out stuff, take them to practice, do this. So that's what it got me ready for. I think that's what wrestling gets you ready for.
No doubt.
And one big thing
more so than just the art of wrestling.
Yeah.
Showing up, being prepared.
Yep.
Yeah.
Early though. You said that doesn't happen a lot though. Only with wrestling.
Well, being on like I always say being on time, like in the jiu-jitsu community is very Brazilian time, bro, Brazilian time, And
what is Brazilian time?
It's like it's late,
When you get there, you get there.
But like a lot of times MMA practice, jiu-jitsu practice, a lot of these practices like 10 practice starts at 10. Dude, show up at 10.
Yeah.
Wrestling practice starts at 10. You got your fucking shoes tied,
Yeah,
and you're ready to go at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
10 o'clock, that means you're fucking running around that room.
For sure, you're stretching.
So that's the
too.
difference,
Yeah,
a little bit. You know,
I mean, obviously, I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so great, and we got your boy Sebastian going to
Hell
Rutgers.
fucking yeah,
Everyone's so
Yeah.
fired up. Everyone's so fired up about that. And Scott Goodale's a client of ours, so we represent Scott on the coaches because we do coaches as well.
Yeah.
So NFL players, coaches, MMA fighters is like kind of our like expertise in how we go about it. And I love repping Scott and what that program
He's great,
has done.
man.
Never heard a bad word about that guy. Everybody.
So Scott actually came to Rutgers when I was still playing at Rutgers. It was in 2007. So it was my junior year. And actually I helped him recruit Scotty Winston.
Yeah.
Like, because he was a Jersey Shore guy.
Whatever happened
That's
to
when I
Scotty
was
Winston?
on staff as well.
So,
Yeah,
that's when you were on staff.
when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were training at the bar, Scotty Winston would be in there once in a while. Whatever happened with him? They had huge hopes for him.
he just never panned out in college. That's
Really?
all. Like, he had all the ability. He just, some things just don't happen for guys.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a great wrestler. And that honestly, that just shows, that level of wrestling, it is so elite.
Right.
It really is. You know what I mean? Like, and no pun intended, elite wrestling. But like, it is. It's
You got to be the
incredible,
full
man.
package, bro.
I mean, and to beat.
What do you think it was that he was lacking? Because I can remember him coming
I'll tell you what
to
he was like.
Steve Rivera's, the barn, and
He didn't lack
and
athleticism.
and he
He
walked
didn't
in
lack
like he was
skill.
Moses.
He didn't lack athleticism. He didn't lack skill. He was just afraid to get tired. I think. I'm not trying to be.
No.
I just think he was.
Yeah,
I think
the
he was
gas
afraid.
tank.
Like, not that they're afraid to get tired. He just didn't want to get tired. He was scared to get tired, and that happens. Like, I would wrestle him if it was a 2-minute go. I'm fucking gonna be hell on wheels, motherfucker. If it's a 10-minute go,
like you're not reserving your tank. And it depends.
Like in a 10-minute go, I'm gonna fucking go balls to the wall for 10 minutes. Like, he wouldn't want to do that. I feel like that might have been the difference because. Dude, if he got over that, he's the best wrestler there is.
For sure. No, he was super talented. He was a great wrestler.
Dude, he was the most. Him and Damian Hahn, in high school. You ever talk about high school? Like Soriano was great. Ashton was great.
Yeah.
They were great. Mike Gray was great. 4-time champs, undefeated.
Hahn was special.
But Damian Hahn
was special.
And Winston.
Yeah.
They whooped people.
Yeah.
It was not even close.
You know what made Hahn even more impressive too? Is he did it at like 171 when he was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
So like he wrestled juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was an absolute man amongst boys. That guy. I have such crazy memories with him. Just watching him wrestle and growing up watching him.
In 2008 he lost in the Olympic trials to Cormier.
Did he really?
Cormier went to the Olympics but didn't make weight.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
I didn't know that either.
That's a great stat.
Yeah.
Frankie's on fire.
Yeah, right.
Come on, baby.
Frankie's on fire.
Dropping knowledge.
Yeah.
Lou, where you at, Bo? Where you at?
I feel like he's had these in the tank for a long time.
Can I tell one story though? So ready?
Let's do it.
We trained, right?
Yep.
I thought it was a beast. Wrestling and this, that, the other thing. I did great in the military. I superseded a lot of people, bigger people than me. I went versus him, and he wasn't even able, and maybe
Quarter speed.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
But he was trying. He said, "Go, go, go," and I'm going, and it was like nothing for him. And that put me in check. That put me right back to like ground zero. Like, bro, you're not even.
It's a difference between a professional.
When I went to the military, we trained
yeah.
hardcore. It was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's what we did. I went to him. Totally different. Bro.
Listen, man, I've admitted it many times on the show, and I don't want to make this the kiss-ass Frankie Egger show.
Why not?
But I've admitted it many times. People look at me. People ask, we get it all the time on our Instagram feed. Who would win in a fight, Roger or Frankie? Listen, man, I'm not scared of me. It's not about you. Look at me. I'm a big dude. You look at Kev. He's a big dude, but skill plays a much bigger factor in all that. Yes, I'm big. I probably hit harder. If I could get him down, I'm a big, heavy guy. But your gas tank burns out so quick as an amateur, and skill level kicks in so fast. I've rolled with Frankie. I mean, if I could get a hold of him, I could probably drag him to the ground and hold him there for 10 seconds, and he's gonna reverse that somehow and get. It's just people don't understand that. They just look at size.
Ass to mouth.
They just look at size and muscle and like you can bench press a lot. It's professional fighting has a whole pedigree to it that people don't understand. It's not a bar fight. That's why I love that Frankie's best stories are about his bar fights. I love that because I've been in plenty of those and I can relate to those. And there is a sort of camaraderie to it, but professional fighting is something that most people, which is why I speak on this. Does it annoy you when a striking battle will go to the ground and it's some legitimate Brazilian jiu-jitsu going on, not just laying on top of each other, but guys are and the crowd starts booing. I'm not even a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner or even know a lot about it, but I can see that guys are doing work. I can see that guys are trying to, improve their or go for a submission or try to improve their position, and the crowd starts booing. That drives me nuts. Does that drive you nuts?
For sure. I mean, but some fights are boring. That's the truth. But yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate everything. Like who was it? Was it Damian Maya and like Ben Askren, like where they're on the ground? Like, dude, that's that's art to me.
That's part of it.
Yeah, it's part
especially
of it.
especially with those guys.
He takes him down. Like, well, then stop the fucking takedown, bro. If you can't stop takedown, you're not the toughest guy. That's what it is.
Right.
That's the sport is. Sorry.
Right.
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 So
But I mean, I do love blood and guts. I mean, that's the kind of fighter I am too.
Right.
And those fights that like the fights that you remember, our guys aren't keeping it playing it safe. They're out there getting after
100%.
it.
Yeah. And what I love about Frankie specifically is like how you win down the stretch, man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really what it comes out. 100%. Like that
At
fifth
38
round,
years
like,
old, he just proved that
dude.
the gas tank is still there.
No doubt.
It's still there.
It's great, dude. It's
You
great,
know?
man.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
like, when I first got into the sport, they're like, oh, they're like, what do you want? What do you want? I'm like, I want to be the fucking Michael Jordan of this shit,
Yeah.
But like, and obviously, you have losses and whatnot, and it's tough to be the Michael Jordan of it. But like, if I'm a blood and guts and heart guy, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that any day.
So who do you want next?
I don't know. I don't care.
Kev, get it out of him because he won't answer it for me. Drives me nuts. Get it out of him. Pressure him.
Everybody above me is booked.
Yeah. So what? All right, then tell me what's a good fight for you.
I don't know. I see people. I see people.
Give me 2 or 3 names. That are good
I see people talking about Dominic Cruz. I think that's a good fight.
Yeah. I shouted that out.
I think he's a name. He's a big name, obviously.
Yeah. Brendan Schaub did. That's why I reposted. Yeah.
Okay.
Brendan Schaub said that.
Yeah.
He said UFC, take my money. He said for that fight.
I mean, dude, like people have been talking about it forever.
Yeah,
you know. And
how do you feel about that?
I feel good. Honestly, I feel good.
I know. I got
Here's-
a couple screwballs.
here's my
I'm
question.
hammering right now.
Obviously, you guys are going to have to do pre-fight pressers for that. Dominic
Not really. No.
You don't think so?
No, not in this world. Right?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
Good,
I mean-
valid point in the world we live in today.
But I don't even know if we'll do
There'll
that.
be some.
Yeah,
but he is a massive shit talker, and you are not. Are you going to take his shit? If he's,
No, listen. If someone talks shit to me,
Right.
100%, I'll say something back. I'm not the wittiest guy, unless I'm with Roger. You know what I'm saying? But I'll definitely.
Roger's super witty.
I got some stuff for that dude. I got some stuff for him. I'm good. I'm ready.
Right.
So
Dominic, if you battle him and you guys are doing some pre-fight stuff, don't talk about the Panther. All right,
Yeah.
that's my gig. Okay.
So you would be happy with that fight?
No, I mean, honestly, bro, I don't like. I only say if who you want to fight, it's a champion. Champ's got to fight. I would say Cejudo. He's gone because he is the real champion.
Yeah,
that's the guy I want to fight.
Man.
He ain't coming back.
I would love to see
But he's
that
not
fight.
coming
But
back. Okay.
Holy
Yeah, I know.
shit! That's
Maybe I think he is. But Cejudo, I'll say Cejudo.
Okay.
If not, Dominic Cruz, I think is a name. Even though I'm higher ranked than him, which stupid shit, whatever.
The Cejudo matchup would be great.
Yeah.
Dude, that I would be,
that'd be a lot of fun,
on the edge of my fucking seat because I think some fights that you're in, you know what it's going to be, but that fight, you guys are fairly evenly matched across the board on that.
He's got great wrestling. He's one of the best wrestlers in the UFC. Obviously, he's a gold medalist.
Yeah, Olympic champion.
And this and that. But we see. I don't get tired, baby.
Yeah.
So,
Shady, baby.
Okay, so we got Cejudo, Cruz. Who else can we get out of here? I'm trying to pull some names out of here.
So we'll see. We'll see if
McGregor even said he wanted to fight.
Who knows with McGregor what he's doing though?
No, but he said that.
Listen, if you fight McGregor, you fucking retire after that, dude.
I'll fight McGregor. I asked him to come on the yacht after and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Don't forget the little people when you fight him. All right.
Have you had any real interactions with him?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like real conversation.
Not huge, but yeah, a little bit.
What was he? Was he different off camera? Was he a little
No.
different? Or?
Nope.
Really? He's the same fucking way, like you see on camera.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Pretty much.
I kind of respect that in a way.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
he's not phony when the cameras just turn on. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's great.
But I got some people hate that dude. I don't hate nobody. That's what I'm saying. Like all these guys. Oh, you can talk shit. I'm like, I don't know these fucking guys.
Right.
Like you don't even know. I don't know anything about them. What do you mean talk shit?
Yeah, exactly.
But you're the type of person that always backed it up.
True.
Well, I don't need
I heard
to be.
stories about you since a little kid, bro.
Yeah.
You were a rookie kid. You were like 14 years old, record 25 years old at surf club.
Yeah, well, I don't know
Surf
about
club.
that. Yeah,
You did, though.
I did some work. I
love that Jesse just brought up surf club.
Surf club.
That's a real throwback.
A juice head. That
Roger,
was
can you
a
get
story.
Roger? Can you get Jesse a microphone
Yeah,
that
right
works?
now.
I wish. I don't know. I thought Lou fixed that mic. What happened to that mic?
Jesse, we got to get you a microphone that works, man.
No, but
I thought Lou fixed it.
Can you tell the surf club story though? Once
Surf club. Well, this okay. I'll tell you surf
It's
club.
an old
Actually,
school one.
I was over the bridge. We were in front of surf club. This was like a late night, and people were having like a bonfire on Ortley Beach. So I'm up there, and a gang of dudes are walking down the boardwalk, like 15 dudes from New York, you know, and they were looking for trouble.
Sounds about right.
They were looking for trouble.
Sounds
and
about
shit.
right.
Me and my boy are
Nothing's changed.
up on the boardwalk, and they start talking shit. I'm like, "Fuck you!" Da, da, da. And they're like, "What?" And the dude comes up and smacks me. I'm like, yo, so I try to jump over the fucking fence. My boy's like, yo, what the fuck? You're crazy. There's 15 of them. And I'm like, stay here. Fucking stay here, motherfucker. I went over the bridge. I called my cousin. I got like 5 carloads of dudes. I'm not proud of this. Okay, I was a little bit of fucking. I got 5 carloads of dudes. While I was there, I was drinking, probably burning a little bit. You know, I was 14 or I think I was 14 or 15. And we pull back. We pull back over to Sawmill or Surf Club. Like 5 cars, and all these dudes just scatter. They run, right? So I hop out the car. I'm fucking pretty hammered. I'm like, where the fuck you at, bro? I was pissed. Dude smacked me, bro. That fucking pissed me off.
Yeah, for sure.
So then I'm going up and down the streets, and I see him walking in some house. So probably, again, I pick up rocks. I'm fucking throwing rocks at this house. I'm like, let's go, motherfucker. Let's come outside. And then his buddy, who was like this big juice bomb, walks around. You can tell he's hammered. All my buddies get in his face. Where's your boy? Where's your fucking boy? He's like, you gonna jump him? You gonna jump him? I'm like, no, 1-on-1, 100%. You know, that's how we do. 1-on-1. So dude comes out. This dude is fucking jacked, bro. He's in a guinea pig.
Juiced out of his
He's
mind.
fucking jacked, right? He had to be 19. I was literally 14.
Wow.
My cousin looks at me. He's like, "Bro, you got this? You got this?" And I'm like he was like nervous for me. But I couldn't bitch out at this point. You know what I mean? I just fucking took 5 carloads of kids with me. So I'm gonna beat someone up.
We've all got you got.
So
this.
I'm like, yeah. I'm talking like, yeah, I got it. And this dude comes like, he fucking comes out. I'm like, let's go, motherfucker. He comes fucking swinging at me. Whoop, lower my level, pick this dude up. Bro, and I put him right through the fucking cement.
Whoa!
And
Were you fireman? Like you fireman?
I
him?
double leg.
Oh, you
boom.
double legged him?
And then I was taking his head, just
Yeah.
rubbing it on the fucking thing, hitting him. I remember his, come
Everybody
on, Mo.
was
They're calling him
balling.
Mo. They're calling him, come on, Mo. I'm fucking on top. Come on, Mo. Come on, Mo. They're fucking cracking this dude, bro.
Exact story I heard, bro.
Dude,
Jesse
so
came for his
that's
birthday.
crazy.
Yo, but here, now let me tell you this, though. Now, the next weekend, we're at Surf Club, right?
Yeah.
And they're there, right?
The same
This
group
dude,
of
yeah,
people.
they're there.
No.
They're there. I'm with, do you remember Sal Skitchafaro? Remember him? He's some
Kinda,
gangster in
yeah.
town. And he's like, oh, you got in the fight. So he's talking to this kid. I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of, whatever, I'm sitting there. And this kid, he's talking to this kid. Next thing you know, he hits this kid, people picking up stools. And all of a sudden, I'm fucking, I'm thinking there's a fight going on. So I'm like this. All of a sudden, I get blindsided. Boom, this dude has me in a headlock. I'm up against the bar. And he has me in a headlock, and he's just fucking uppercutting me. And it was the dude I fought.
No
Dude, I
shit.
No
I'm getting
fucking
fucking
way.
uppercutted, bro. I got me out of nowhere. Bro, I come around his head. I fucking start fish hooking him. My buddy comes out of nowhere. It's like, bang, bang, bang. I feel him just go lifeless on me. Bloop. I get up. I'm
What
like,
a pitch, bro.
yeah. I'm like, where the fuck? And then some bouncers all took me out. And the big dude, the big juice bomb was there. Tommy actually fucking beat the fuck.
Altieri?
Tommy split his nose open. He's outside though. This dude was huge,
Dude.
bro. This dude's got blood all over. He's like, ah! I'm just like, whoa. I dipped away. I was like, holy, don't see me, motherfucker.
Oh, you're 14.
Yeah, dude.
These fight stories are
Yeah.
absolutely class.
Yeah.
Like the progression of Frankie Yeager's fight career,
Right.
it all
Right.
started
Bro,
like
thank you, right?
From the streets.
it all started in
But that's-
Seaside Heights.
Hell
The,
yeah.
the passion was born there.
It
You know,
was.
like you just can't do that shit now. You're gonna get arrested and you're gonna fucking end up a felon.
no
But
doubt.
but you
Bro, I got in. This is a funny story. I was home from college. Okay, it was like my sophomore year. Me and Renee went over the bridge to my buddy's house. It's like late. It's like 2 a.m. I had to get gas. I pull into the gas station, Exxon over on, right on Fisher. I pull in the gas station. Now I'm used to being in college where you pump your own gas, right? So I'm like, fuck it. It was freezing cold. I figure I'm helping this fucking guy out anyway. I jump out. I start pumping my own gas. The guy comes. Now Renee is in the car. I come. Let's finish. this
Jesse,
bottle,
check
I know, I
check
gotta
check the
pee.
time on that camera.
I gotta pee.
So I come.
Check the time on the camera.
Is there time?
Not time, bro.
Out of time?
It's not one.
Huh?
Don't worry. It's
Should
still
be.
filming. We're good.
Does it still say record?
Yep.
Okay.
So I pump gas. The guy comes up to me, and I'm like, he comes up to me. He looks weird on his face, a little weird look on his face. But comes up, and I'm like, I can tell he was a little upset or something. I'm like, I got a dog. He's like, dog? What's dog? And I could tell he was upset. So I'm like, nah, dog, bro. Like, we cool, dog. And he fucking flinched on me. He went like this, then he flinched on me. I'm like, bro.
Wait, the gas station
the
attendant?
gas station attendant, bro, flinched on me. So I fucking pushed him. I'm like, motherfucker, get the fuck out of my face. And he comes after me. And so I
You beat up the old Indian dude from 7-Eleven?
He was like, I was 19, 20.
Buddy was working for the gas.
Working the gas station.
He had a fucking uniform.
Yes, bro. He's the Exxon
and he's
gas
fighting
pump.
a fucking guy, a patron.
So yeah,
Okay.
so he fucking flinched on me. I pushed him. I said, bro, get the fuck out of here. And then he comes at me. So I took him. I threw him into like the window washer fluid thing. All right, I threw him that, and then I foot swept him, and I'm on top of him. And now he's grabbing my shirt, and my chain was on. And I said, bro, get the fuck off my chain. Get the fuck. I hadn't hit him yet.
Yep.
I'm thinking there's cameras.
This is a
everywhere,
Jersey
right?
thing, guys.
Chains
Chains are sacred.
Yeah, I'm like, get the fuck off my chain. He wouldn't get off, so then I fucking cracked him twice. I was like, whack. And he like kind of like, he let go. So then I let go. He gets up. He's all fucking discombobulated. He goes to pick up the window washer fluid that I threw him into to throw it at me, and he throws it right at his own feet. Boom! And then he runs in the store. I was like, I got my wife. Renee's at that point. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? I jump in there. I take off. I'm right to the police station, actually.
Did you really?
Bro, because I'm like, yo, this is why I wanted to be a cop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen. I was like, listen, this fucking guy, I pumped gas. He came at me. Fucking grabbed me. I fucking did this. The cop laughed at me. He said, all right, we'll call you if something happens. But I thought the guy was going in to get a gun or something. Well, you know what I mean? I didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
True, yeah.
But that was funny. They said the dude had some black eyes for a couple weeks after that, or a week after that. But I'm like, how the fuck do I get into a fight at a gas station, bro?
He was going to go in and get one of those laser pointers and come back out that they sell in those stores.
That's Exxon, though. That's Tom River, prime time, like, come over the bridge type shit.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, I'm like, why are you flinching on me, bro? Come on. Right?
Yeah, if he's working, he shouldn't be doing it. He was mad that
And
you
I
were
was helping
pumping
him, and I could tell.
That's how serious we take pumping gas in New Jersey, guys.
I don't know if dog is like a derogatory thing, maybe.
Oh, actually, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is, right?
And when
you're a dirty dog. You hear that all the time. Yeah.
And like when he said, it was like, dog, what's dog? I could tell he's pissed. So I even rolled it back. I'm like, nah, dog, we cool. I said, we cool. And he went like this to me. I'm like, all right, I can't have that.
Yeah,
I think you might be onto something there. I think
you're not fake hitting me.
I think dog is a derogatory
Different
term in
cultures,
some
though.
cultures.
Not
Yeah.
Jersey, dog, son, we got like a bunch of weird ones.
Yeah.
Roger, would you get people kind of like trying to fuck with you when you're on the show just because they knew they knew
Definitely while we were filming,
you know
but
what I mean? Like,
most
like
of
almost
that.
like going out of their way to like pick a fight with
tons.
you, or
And
even actually post show.
And
like,
I
can see that too.
I got a couple stories about that, but most of that was weeded out by security. Security saw that coming a mile away, and because they had a ton of security, so they even try to get near you because people just want to be on camera, and they would love to be on camera just to sneak somebody from Jersey Shore. 100%. So security, when they had a great security team, I'm still friends with guys that were on that team, and they were good dudes. But I mean, there was a few. The very It's funny you said that. So as I said previously, Jenny and I met season 1. We refer to our relationship in seasons, but anyway, that never made the air. They went to Miami for season 2, came back season 3. Well, the first time that I saw her again, season 3, and I just happened to be out. I had no idea they were filming. We locked eyes, and I was like, holy shit, here. She came up. She's like, oh, you don't respond to my texts or my emails or whatever, she said. And then we ended up hanging out, and this guy did exactly what I'm talking about, wanted to just cause an issue.
I could see
and
that.
walked past us, and there's cameras all around. They're trying to get in there and get our personal conversations. And I just remember he walks by, and he flips me off, like he walks by. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna. Just in my normal everyday life, Jesse could tell me I would never fucking take that. B, I'm on camera and I'm not gonna look like a fool. You know what I mean? So I said something like, and he walks away. He did it in front of the camera and then walked away. I said something along the lines of, why don't you come back here and try that again, bro? Why don't you come back here and do that again? And this guy did, right? He turns right around, he comes back, and he flips me off. So I just tackle him. Well, listen, somehow, or swung at him, whatever. I don't know what I did, but we end up on the ground, and I'm on fucking bottom. This guy's on top of me, but I have him in a full, he's in a full headlock choke, and I got this thing cinched deep, and I'm not letting it go. But I remember thinking in my head, looking up, all these cameras pan down, right? And I'm like, holy fucking shit, I'm on bottom. Yeah. Holy fucking shit, I'm on bottom. That's all I can think about is I'm on fucking bottom. This guy landed on top of me. I look like a fucking idiot. So I just choked this guy out.
Bottom like missionary?
He fucking dick. I remember the bouncers, because I knew them all, right? We're in Karma. I remember them grabbing him by his belt, like picking him up and picking me up. They were like standing me up with him because I had this kid in such a deep, and I was not letting this thing go. I was not, because I was afraid, if I let it go, he's going to get a couple punches off me before I can do anything. So I had this thing just sunk so deep, and then I remember the bouncers, a couple of them knew, said, Roger, let him go, and I fucking let him go, you know what I mean? But I ended up on bottom the first fight I was ever in on camera. It never made the air, and then I smoked some clown like stuck his hand up Jenny's skirt or something on one episode. Jeez. And I pushed him and said, yo, fucking take a walk. Something along those lines, and this kid swung at me. It's on camera, like you see him swing, and he just barely makes contact, and you see me go out of frame, and then you just see my arm come back in frame, and you see this guy go flying.
That was on the show, right?
Yeah, that was on the show.
Yeah, I actually remember that one.
And I'm listening. In no way am I trying to come across like a tough guy. I have nothing but respect for Frank, but I've been in a ton of bar fights, but what the average person out there does not realize is there is nothing even remotely close to similar to professional fighting, to a bar fight.
Those bars were at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. There's nothing even remotely close. You know what I mean?
People think that.
Because we did train for a little bit in a limited capacity, but you at the old barn, and it was a fun time, man. It was a fun time, but you learn quickly. You are anything but a professional fighter. Anything but. You know what I mean?
For real.
Bro, you know what everyone says? The more I work out, the more I train, the less tough I am. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Well, because you realize, like, it's like okay, you don't have to go far, like in wrestling. You don't have to go far to find someone that'll fucking give you a match.
Right.
It's not like that. You know what I mean? Like,
on a professional level, sure.
The more I train, the less tough I am. Because that means the more you train, the more you see fucking. What's out there.
You're never as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are as well. Yeah. Frankie? Who's the guy that you like? You entered the octagon and you knew the dude was like legit. Like it's like super hard to battle. You know what I mean?
Gotta be like, some of your early fights, man. Tyson Griffin. I mean, you were so young.
I think BJ.
I'm talking a mix of everything, Frankie. Too. I'm talking like toughness. Like you knew could take a punch. You knew it was tough to take down.
Is that why that's probably one of your most memorable wins?
I'm just gonna say BJ because before I fought BJ.
He was the man, bro.
He was running.
He was
running through people.
He was
running through people.
He was running through dudes. Like, I was not supposed to do what I did.
Yeah, 100%.
I was supposed to be another victim. He was literally licking blood off his gloves and guys, like destroying dudes. So like then that's when I mean, honestly, the Sean Shirk fight definitely showed me I belong with the best
for sure.
I mean, Sean Shirk at that point when I beat Sean Shirk, I think he lost to fucking Hughes, George St. Pierre, and BJ Penn. That's it.
Wow.
You know, those three. That's
you're talking three.
And then when but BJ, like he had this aura about him.
Yep.
You know, and I believed I could beat him.
And that whole
but even then, that was a tough
too.
belief. That was a tough belief, you know.
For sure.
But I still believe.
I don't know if you want to talk about this or not. It had nothing to do with you, but I don't know. But Hermes Franca, you beat him, and then shortly after that, did he go to prison? He was charged with like a sexual assault with a minor or some shit?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's crazy. I mean, not that it's okay. In Brazil, bro, they don't have those laws. He came here. He's messing with like a 15-year-old.
Oh, it was in the States.
Yeah. You know,
okay.
That's culture.
But he didn't. That was sort of the end of his MMA career, right? He really didn't do anything after that.
Pretty sure. I think he fought in Russia. I was in Russia in like 2014. He was on a card out there.
Oh no shit.
He got smoked.
Really?
What was the most like hostile atmosphere you fought in?
That's a good one.
Like, would you say like just because to me, like I played in Seattle, you know, and like the Seahawks, like that's.
Oh, you're saying as far as fan base, like who hated or
I'm talking
honestly
like,
everywhere.
I'm talking a mix of everything because like I played in Seattle, I literally couldn't hear myself think when I was in there. It was so it got honestly, so like, loud in there.
Everywhere, honestly, everyone. I've always been a fan favorite, I think, but fighting BJ. in Abu Dhabi was you had a mix, you know.
Yeah.
But when I fought him in Boston, I did the Boston the weigh-ins.
Bro, I was at that fight with all your fucking friends who are lunatics, all our friends.
Yeah.
And I could tell you from being there, BJ was the crowd favorite, and we almost fought everybody in that fucking place. Kurt, Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy shoved me into a kid that walked down. So we were kind of on the end. We were right at the banister, maybe second row up, something like that. And a kid walked all the way down that was like literally BJ Penn's biggest fucking fan that ever existed, and could not have talked more shit about Frankie. And, you know, Kurt is listening to him. Tommy Altieri is listening to him. And I'm on the end. I'm on the fucking end closest to him. And I'm listening to him. And we're all like fucking like this fucking guy. And all of a sudden, I get shoved, like the hardest I've ever been shoved, and go flying into this kid. Tommy shoved me as hard as he possibly could to go bounce off this kid and send this kid fucking flying off the fucking handrails. I thought all hell was going to be. If he was with a group of people, it would have been a melee. But he was by himself. And he just left. But then walking through the shit with Kurt was fucking a madman, bro.
Dude, I bet.
A madman. Talking shit to everybody.
Dude, it's so funny, like, even just, like, talking about, like, that atmosphere and what that looks like. Because I was at, where do you go to watch a Frankie fight in Seaside Heights?
Yeah.
You go to JR. So, like,
definitely.
exactly. So, the night you fought the Brazilian, the same night Weidman beat
Oliveira,
right?
yeah.
So you were the card right before that.
Yeah,
like you
that was the
fought.
co-main, yeah.
So as like Frankie's fight got going, like I think I was actually with Delafave actually. We're hanging out at JR's or whatever. And a bunch of Brazilians walked off the boardwalk to go watch the fight. Like to go watch Frankie fight this guy. And they got like really rowdy in a bar that they shouldn't have got really rowdy in. You know what I mean? Because that's Frankie. If you know, if you know JR's and like the relationship.
Listen,
like
you can't not know. There's a huge picture of him on the fucking.
Exactly. But you're literally walking into the area where it's Frankie Edgar territory.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I felt it. I felt I was a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I'm running my mouth to all these Brazilians.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, "Yo, take it easy."
yeah,
And now I'm bigger than all these fucking guys,
Yeah,
so I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like running my mouth to him. Now Frankie beats him.
In the bar, that's where size does matter.
No doubt. And Frankie beats him. So now I'm like, oh, what the fuck? But I forgot that Weidman Sylvia was like the fight. You know what I mean? So and Weidman was a major underdog in that fight.
Huge underdog.
You know what I mean? So like I forgot, and they're all sticking around for this fight, and I go, oh shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because that's when they're gonna like, you know what I mean, go in, and then when Weidman upsets
him
him,
out,
bro, I looked back, they were all the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
They were all way at it.
Same exact
they were way out
scenario
of JR's.
happened with your last BJ Penn fight. You fought him 3 times. Your very last fight, I think. One guy and his wife or girlfriend was in there with the what is it?
Ruka,
the Ruka shirt on, cheering BJ Penn on. One dude and his wife. Everybody else in there was a Frankie Edgar fan, and it was a hostile environment for him for sure.
Dude.
Nobody did anything to him physically, but they're like, bro, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? It's his Frankie Edgar territory.
100%. Sure
Dude,
is.
that's great, man.
Yeah.
That's great. I love like that honestly, I don't know how you feel, Frankie, like fighting in that, but like I love that like hostile territory. To me, that's sports. Like walking into that and like being a part of that and just kind of thriving in that kind of environment. I remember that like as a player, playing at Rutgers, like West Virginia was like a very tough place to play.
That's what separates you from common men, though, because most common people, men, women, whatever, can't do that. They cannot walk into a hostile environment like that and feel comfortable and get the job done. Most people can't do that. They just want out of there. They just want to get out of that environment.
You're right.
It's fight or flight. You know what I mean? And
for sure.
and you guys are fight guys, and most people are flight people. They don't want to be. That's a completely unknown realm to them. It's an uncomfortable setting. They don't want to be in there. And this guy's been in there for 13 years, 15 years probably, counting your amateur career.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And to me,
it's
like,
funny, though. I go take a motorcycle ride for him, and he's like, dude, I'm nervous.
Yo, I saw you guys.
I'm like,
you guys
this
round
fucking
the
guy
road.
is a killer, stone cold killer, but he's nervous.
Is that your bike? Is that your bike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he won it.
Yeah.
So Roger and Jesse, you were out on that ride
He won
too.
it too, though. He won the
I
bike,
won
right?
it for when I did the Ultimate Fighter show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, how about that? That's
Still
awesome.
bike, I honestly have like 350 miles on it.
So you
I've
never
had it
really
for
ride
5 years.
Yeah,
I don't ride it all ever.
still solid though.
That's awesome.
I felt rusty, and he's like, "Bro, I feel so." I'm like, "Bro, I ride so much more than you."
What kind of bike do you have, Jesse?
Jesse ran into it.
really?
Listen,
Okay.
we're not calling anybody out, but
What kind of bike what kind of
Jesse
bike
ran into a crosswalk sign. We're not. I just bought my first Harley ever. I always rode quote unquote crotch rockets, a variety of. My last bike was a KTM RC8R. It's like a total performance, track bike. But I rode that for about 4 years, sold it, and I just bought my first Harley bagger. I bought a Road Glide, 2018 Road Glide, and
nice.
Transition is a little tough. It's not what I'm used to. It's not a performance machine. But I wanted comfortability over speed.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I was gonna kill myself, man. I got 2 kids now. You know what I mean? And
no doubt.
if I was talented in anything, it would probably be motorcycle riding. I have a pretty deep history with riding bikes, and if the machine does it, I want to push it and see what it can do. I really don't have much performance out of this Harley. It's not going to do a whole lot, so I don't really push the limits of it. So, I enjoy it, and
it's scary though. It really is,
dude. That's why my brother's got the one with all the tattoos. He's got a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I do love it. I think every man should know how to ride a motorcycle.
You killed it though, bro.
I never have. I would love to try. Yeah. I want to get like one of those like old school like Indians.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like an old school.
Indian makes some great bikes, man.
Yeah, they really do. Like that old like traditional like old school type. Like I would love to try that.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer we have on the mics. On the
152 was. I don't know.
If we're at 152, we're past our thing.
So we'll wrap it up here, I guess.
Yep.
But hey, Kev, thanks for coming on, man. It was a pleasure. Good time talking. We'll do it again, dude.
I was gonna say this flowed so well, Kev. You were such a great guest, man. I love. Most guests don't do what you do. Most guests don't flip it around us and ask. I like that you did that. You can clearly tell you've got a little experience in this. We'd love to have you back on, brother. You're welcome on the Champ and The Tramp podcast, on our couch anytime you want, my man.
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming on, brother.
Roger, thank you. Frankie, thank you, man. It means a lot to me
This
to
peanut butter. This peanut butter whiskey is
peanut butter whiskey time.
Also sponsored by Kalo. Awesome.
Kalo.
Yes.
Big shout out to Kalo.
Absolutely.
Hemp infused seltzer. But I appreciate coming on, man. I appreciate the conversation and what you guys are doing with the podcast. It's awesome. And
awesome.
You guys have an awesome trajectory. And dude, fired up to be here, man.
Our motto is keep showing up, man. And we listen. If it never built a following, I enjoy, as much as we insult each other, I enjoy hanging out with this kid. And, we talk about a lot of stuff, fatherhood. We get to relate on that. We get to talk about current events. We get to have some great guests on. So if this never goes anywhere, we've said it a million times, we're going to keep doing it. So
dude,
we enjoy it.
No doubt. And I'm lucky to know Frankie the way I do and to work with him professionally. It's such an awesome blessing. And Roger, awesome to meet you through Frankie. And
absolutely.
Also Jesse. It's awesome to be here, man. And thanks so much, man. It was awesome.
Kev, appreciate you coming on, brother.
Thanks, Roger.
Out.